What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? Let me get my setup set up here. Just don't feel like I'm centered like I want to be. How's it going, ladies and gentlemen? It is your boy Tim back with another video, back with another live stream. It's been a minute since I've done this. I feel a little rusty. I'm feeling a little rusty. I feel like my setup ain't where it needs to be. My intro's off. That's okay though. That's okay though. Because it's a beautiful morning, even though it's freezing outside. We're here, we're live, we're going to keep it positive. It's good to see y'all. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Shout out to everybody already in the chat. I see y'all. Shout out to all the lurkers. We are here. Here. And I know today's stream is going to be a really good one. Partially because I haven't done one in a while. And we may get into that a little later, but also just because I think this is something that needs to be talked about. I think this is something we need to talk about. First off, good morning. How y'all doing? Hopefully everyone is well. Hope you're having a blessed morning. I have a little coffee on deck here, ladies and gentlemen. I was trying to be cheap, and I bought the cheapest coffee they had down at the Safeway. I am not a fan of this. I'm not a fan of this coffee. I'm not going to say the name brand. It was very cheap. I drank it one. It has an aftertaste, is what I'm trying to say. It has a horrible aftertaste. So if you see me grimacing from time to time throughout this stream, it's not y'all. It's not the topic. It's the coffee. But I said, Tim, you was the one who wanted to pay $6 for this cheap coffee so you could make it at home. So this is the price you pay. Well, I was going to throw it away. I said, nope. The new Tim, hard times. So the new Tim is keeping the coffee. So here we go. Now, once again, ladies and gentlemen, this will probably be one where I go into my spiel, at least in the first part of the stream. Near the end, after about an hour or so, something like that, maybe we'll get to, Q&A. I will be looking at the chat. But if there is something you just feel you have to put in the conversation, there's a super chat option. Enough said about that. I have been accused in the past of being like toxically positive. I have been accused in the past of like being delusional and just being just like toxically positive, overly positive. It's like, Tim, yeah, you always talk about this positivity and all the good stuff going on in the world and how beautiful the world is, but like you're being delusional. You're not really seeing what's really going on in the world. Okay. And they're like, I'm telling you, you do not know how many people have given me this comment. And you would think that when you're trying to be positive and put love out there, people would be on board. No, they said I'm too positive, too loving, too much about abundance. So in a stream like today, I want to show that like I see what's going on in the world. Okay. I understand that hard times are probably coming. In fact, anyone who's followed the channel for a while knows that I've been saying on the economic front, I've been saying for years that we were going to have some type of economic reset, recession, whatever R word you want to use, collapse, whatever word you want to use. I've been saying this for years. I was one of the first people saying, hey, this economic system is a little wonky. There's going to be some type of reset. There's the other one, reset. There's going to be something, recession, reset, something's going to happen. Years ago, I've been saying that. So like I see the things that are going on in the world. I don't think we're anywhere near done with inflation because they don't know what to do about it. There's really nothing they can do about it. Okay. Now, I do think a lot of the things other people are out there talking about, some of it is fear mongering. There are some things going on. I think we probably will get into a recession. I think there will be some serious inflation. I think some of these shortages they keep trying to scare us about might actually happen. You know what I mean? Yes, there are some wars going on that I'm keeping my eye on that I'm like, that could get interesting. You know what I mean? So I do think we are heading towards one of these harder time periods. And if you look back throughout history, there's always been these times. I like to bring up the world wars. Those were hard times. All throughout history, there have been these hard time periods. Like this is just the human experience, the human existence. Depending on who you are and where you live, the time period you live in, you might go through some really interesting times. So I accept this. I admit this. But my plan, because as you can see from the title, is I do have a plan. Okay. The difference, I think, most people are just out there talking about how bad it's going to get. A lot of people who do what I do, a lot of people who make videos, make content, they know how scared people are right now, and scared people like to like watch videos about how bad things are going to get. The reason we do this is because like we think we're going to get a solution in there. The difference is most people who are talking about all this stuff are offering no solutions other than like buy something from me. You know, people out there fear mongering, no solution, or their solution is buy my ebook or take my course and you'll survive. I want to be a little different and tell y'all my plan, which involves no money. I'm not trying to sell you anything. You know what I mean? I have a plan. This is how I'm going to get through the hard times. And this is why I'm not like just down and out right now or crawled up under my bed in the fetal position crying or just super nervous or super scared. This is why I'm making plans for next year. You know, this is why I'm setting plans for 2023. My plan is to not spend all my time focusing, talking, worrying, being scared of all the negative things that are going to happen during this time period. That's my plan. My plan is to accept what's going on, look at it with open eyes, not be delusional, embrace it. Okay, you know, and then just like let go of trying to like do something about things I can't do anything about. This is one of the hardest things to do as a human, but it also reaps like the best rewards. When we can let go of trying to do something about the things we can't do nothing about, life gets good or it gets way better. My plan is to continue to focus on the things I focus on that like bring my life meaning, bring me joy. Focus on my loved ones, focus on my passion, focus on my happiness, focus on my future, focus on the present, making plans for the future. All this stuff people are getting so worked up about and so worried about, we can't do nothing about it. We can't do anything about it. So why spend all our time? You go to work, people are talking about it. You turn on the radio, people are talking about it. You get on social media, people are talking about it. Why? Don't engage in that. That's my plan. From time to time, I might tap in just to see what's going on, but you don't have to engage in it. Get a pulse of what's going on, identify what you think might play out in the future, make whatever decisions you can make. I'm not saying don't do anything, but like make whatever decisions you can make to try to like get you and your family through the best way possible. And then that's it. That's all you got to do. That's it. That's it. It's going to do what it's going to do. And I look back a lot, you know, through history, and it's funny, by the way, I've noticed that when we're when we're thinking about hard times, we almost always think financially. You ever notice that? Whenever we're thinking about hard times, we almost always go to like the financial side of it. How can I get through this financially, money wise? When actually, I think that's, I mean, that plays a big role, but there's also other, you know, how can, you know, we need to think about our emotions, emotionally, mentally, you know, things of that nature. That just popped in my head earlier. I was like, we always go to the money. People will try to scare you. Oh, this is this and this is coming. This is how you can like survive during it. But you know, so we always go to the financial side of it. No, it's like we got to look at the whole thing. But anyway, um, it was through stories financially that I came across this thought, because there are so many people throughout history, like so many families that like got generational wealth, or so many people who got wealthy during bad times or hard times, because they just took the opportunity, took advantage of the situation. I'm like, why can't we do that with other stuff in our life? You know what I mean? These hard times that we're about to go through, or that we're kind of in and maybe about to go through, we could use these to grow more than we've ever grown in our life. You know what I mean? We could take advantage of these times to get like some massive growth, or maybe to foster some really loving relationships, or maybe just like really buckle down and go after our passion, or maybe find our passion. There's a lot of people like, I have no clue what my passion is. They might find it in the next few years just because the world gets so crazy. Someone might find their passion just because the world gets so crazy that they have to have an outlet. I got to find something to do to take my mind off all this. And they suddenly take up watercolors and they realize, oh, I love painting with watercolors. That's my passion. You know what I mean? Like we have to look at it that way. It's like just because the world is going to go through whatever it's going to go through, and there might be sometimes that, we're hurting, we're in pain, physically, economically, who knows? But that doesn't mean that we can't still live our lives and we can't still like come out of this ahead in some aspects. If we go through a 5 year period of hard times, that's still 5 years of your life. So, whatever stuff, whatever growth, or whatever work, whatever you're going to try to do in those 5 years, you still want to try to do it. You know what I mean? I think a lot of people have given up already. They're just like, oh man, it's going to be crazy. I don't even want to deal with it. It's like, no, I got goals, I got plans, I got dreams that I'm trying to do the next 5 years. I'm still trying to do them. I just have to figure out how to do them in the framework of a world that might look a little different than the world looks now. And guess what? Maybe some of that stuff that happens in the world during the next 5, 10 years, whatever, might actually be the catalyst that allows me to to do better or to achieve my dream. We got to look at it that way. That's my plan. I'm looking at it that way. I'm looking at for whatever reason. I am currently a human being on the planet Earth in this time period. And so if, because there's a lot of people who believe that, everything happens for a reason, you're here at this exact time for some type of reason. Well, if that's the case, then like you were supposed to be here during these hard times. If that's the case, then you're supposed to be here during this time period. So we don't need to sit around and fear it or just like, woe is me. Yeah, yeah, it may get uncomfortable. It can make it downright messy. It may get painful, but like maybe that's what we need to go through to get where we need to get to in life. You know what I mean? Maybe if the world had stayed the same as it was in 2018 and, very peaceful and the economy was doing okay and all this, maybe we wouldn't get where we need to get. Maybe there's some growing we need to do in these next few years or what's going to allow that growth. That's what I'm looking at. I'm like, I'm not going to look at all this other stuff over here is going to happen, and I'm just going to have to deal with it. And, food shortages and inflation and prices going up and all this other stuff. I'll just have to deal with it. I said many a time, I'm all set to be down at the soup kitchen every Saturday with the rest of y'all if it comes to that. They can be like, who is this dude down here laughing and joking? Who is this dude down here laughing and joking? I didn't already, it's about survival for me. It's about survival for me. You know what I mean? I pray almost every night that me and everyone else get through this life as comfortable as possible. But I know that may not happen. There will be times of extreme discomfort. We've all been through them. We'll go through them again. But to me, like that's not life. You know what I mean? To me, life is, learning, experiencing, growing. Hey, no matter what happens, it's an experience. No matter what happened, it's an experience. I've never lived through a hyperinflationary period before. We might, what I mean? It'll be an experience. That life to me is the experiencing, the laughing, the loving, all that. If I'm, uncomfortable and don't get to eat as well as I used to eat, or prices get really high and I can't buy the things I used to buy, or maybe, instead of having one roommate, I end up with like 10 roommates. That's not life. That's just me getting through life. Life is the experiences I'm getting in those time periods, the memories I'm making, the fun I'm having, the happiness I'm going after. That's life. And you can live and experience life in any situations. There's some people in some truly horrible situations right now still living. I don't focus on all that earthly kind of money, kind of, whatever. That stuff happens and you have to deal with it. I'm focused on my life, what I'm trying to do while I'm here. And you can do that regardless of what's going on. And like I said, sometimes the crazy stuff going on around you really helps you zone in on that type of stuff. And you start to see, oh, all this other stuff I was working really hard to try to attain and get, all that's gone. All, you know what I mean? I shouldn't laugh at the thought of economic ruin, but I'm just saying we might get to a place where like, man, all this stuff I was striving to go after is gone. What am I left with? My friends, my family, things that bring me joy. Let me focus on that. So that's my plan. I'm just not gonna, there's people already stressed out. People already like super stressed out. And the hard times really ain't got here yet. It's like, man, if you already super stressed out, wow, wow. But it comes because people are just focusing on this. This is what people are focusing on day in and day out, everywhere they go. You go to work, people talk about this stuff. You turn on the news. We got to say this one more time, ladies and gentlemen. Stop watching the news. I know, especially times like these, you feel like, oh man, I need to watch the news to see what's going on. You don't. You don't. Trust me. If you go to the local grocery store and prices are up, take the hit then. You don't need to listen to the news for 3 weeks before the prices go up, them saying the price is going to go up. If the price on butter is going to go up, I want to know about it till I go to get my butter. Then I'll have a coronary. You know what I mean? I don't need to be worried about butter prices 3 months before they go up. Stop watching the news. I'm telling you, times like these, whatever, you get home, you want to relax, watch your little TV, little streaming services. I get it. I do the same thing. Watch your little sports. Do that. Just do me a favor. Stay away from the news right now. Because a lot of the stuff they talk about will never happen. And if it is going to happen, if we're going to run out of diesel fuel, I'll know when we run out. I'll know when I see 18-wheelers in big trucks all on the side of the road. I'll be like, well, the diesel fuel must have ran out. I don't need to worry about that beforehand. You're sitting down with your kids, they getting all worried. They 11 years old. They don't need to be worried about all this. They getting stressed. Grades are slipping. They don't need to be worried. I'll tell you, stop watching the news. It is, every now and then, like I said, I'll tap in. I'll get on YouTube and I'll look at some stories about what's going on around the world, just get kind of a gauge, see where we're at. I pull back. Might do it again 3 weeks from now just to see. This day in and day out, looking at all this stuff around the world, it's crazy. It's crazy. Metaphysical Mike, I appreciate that. Thank you. Super Chat Squad, appreciate that love. Thank you. Says control and logic no longer work in this reality. I think logic works for each one of us. You know what I mean? I think my logic works. I think it's when I try to put my logic, it may not always work, but like the logic, my personal logic is still fine. You know what I mean? My control over my own life is excellent. It's great, or as good as it's been. We all struggle with that, I think. But yeah, I'll tell you, times like these, I turn a lot more just like inward. It becomes about me, friends and family, us, as opposed to like, yeah, when you try to, put your views and your thoughts on the whole world, nah, there's just not, that logic is gone, nah. Mm-mm. It becomes very inward because my personal logic's still amazing most of the times. But yeah, just the news is one of those things that it gets us all hyped up and all worked up, and then you go to work and talk about the news. Like it's just and it becomes almost a self-fulfilling prophecy. How many times throughout history? How many times throughout history, when it comes to like financial markets or other stuff, have you read in history class that they were like, it actually wasn't a problem until people started thinking it was a problem, and then they started acting in a way to like make the problem come about. This is what always happens with like the stock market. People think the market's going to crash, so they take their money out and the market crashes. This is what happens. A lot of these situations get exasperated because people are sitting around thinking they're going to happen, and they start making different moves than they normally would make. And it's just like if everybody just kind of went along doing what they've been doing, still some of these things would happen, but it probably would not be as bad. It wouldn't be as bad. Yeah, I don't watch the news at all, man. You can't. No, no. I'm telling you, I'm steady making plans for next year, as if nothing's gonna happen. I'm steady making plans for next year, and me, someone who believes very much in abundance. I know the universe, source, God, whatever, is greater than all this little like earthly stuff that's going on. It is easy to get very wrapped up in our human stuff, but I always think about the fact that like I personally believe there's things greater than us as humans going on. We are just a piece of the puzzle and a very small piece of the puzzle of the universe. So I like to reflect on the fact that the grand design or grand designer of the universe is way greater than this little human stuff we going through. That which made the mountains and star clusters and supernovas and all this other stuff and came up with the concept of love and all this other great monumental stuff that is bigger than all of us is not concerned about inflation. You know what I mean? It's still going to provide us the same abundance it's always been providing. Abundance is not going to dry up. Abundance is not going to get more expensive. The price of positivity is not going to go up. Love, genuine love, is not going to be, affected. It's still going to be the fabric of the universe. Now, times get rough. There's certain types of love that get cheaper. We're not going there. We're not going there. Hey, whatever plan you use to survive. But like, I try to think on the bigger stuff, man. Like, you know, positivity is still positivity. Manifestation will still work. In fact, you know what? During time periods like this, I almost think that maybe manifestation and focusing on abundance and positivity might work even better because there's less people in those lanes. You know what I mean? There's less people fighting for the positive energy in the universe. There's less people fighting for the abundance in the universe because everybody's all down and out and negative. You get in there, your call is going to be the first one answered to the manifesting hotline. Nobody else is calling. Everybody else is shook. Everybody else is scared. Everybody else is depressed. Your phone call. You call the manifestation hotline during good times. It's like you're caller number 3081. Please hold. You call now. They're like, hello. you, call, you call the manifestation hotline right now. You be the first person. Hello. Yeah, yeah. What do you want to manifest? You like? I got you. Cool. Thank you. Thanks for calling. I've been bored. I really think these are the times to manifest, to stay positive, to reach out for the abundance because nobody else is doing it. I'm telling you, when everybody is doing this, you do this. When everybody looks right, you look left. While everybody is down, just like, I don't know what I'm going to do. And let's just say, I'm not making fun of those type of people. I understand it. You got bills, you got family, it's trying times. But while everybody else is just letting it get them down, we'll be the ones just be like, you know what? These were the goals and dreams I had beforehand, and those are the goals and dreams I'm going for. Nothing has to change on that front unless we change it. And we do that as humans. We'll do that. We'll have something we're striving after, and then someone will come and say, oh, I think this might happen. And we'll say, well, let me put that on hold. I'm guilty of it. I'm guilty of it. Someone will say, oh, this might be about to happen. And I'll say, oh, let me put that on hold. Because if that happens, it ain't even happened yet. It might not ever happen. Right? But I stop what I'm doing because I'm like, well, I need to. No, come on. It's the people who just keep going, right? It's the people who are like, yeah, if that happens, it happens. Whatever. I'm doing this. This one. It's the stubborn people who's like, this is what I'm doing. I did a video a few years back, and it was called "What I Learned from Evil People." And it's kind of a weird idea, but the video was decently received. Yeah. But that's something I learned from perseverance. You ever notice that about like evil people? They persevere no matter what. If they gonna do crazy stuff, they want to do crazy. You know what I mean? It don't matter. It's illegal. It don't matter they've been in jail before. It don't matter that they've been shot, stabbed, whatever. Evil people, despite the odds, just keep doing their crazy evil stuff. You ever notice that? They just don't stop until they can't do it no more. I'm like, why aren't we the good people as obsessed? You know how cool it would be if we were as obsessed with like good and love and happiness and joy as evil people are with hate and all that kind of craziness. They get obsessed. We be the ones who give up. Yeah, I want to do this, spread love. First hurdle. Well, guess that didn't work. So like I'm gonna tell you, this whole life thing is a learning lesson. This whole life thing is a learning lesson if you take the time to like learn and see, if you take the time to actually look and observe. I've been doing a lot of observing lately. If you take the time to actually observe, you can like learn from stuff. Even people like, evil people who people just write off. Oh, that person's crazy, they're sick, they're disgusting. But there's a lesson there. I need that level of perseverance. I need that level of determination to be able to say there's nothing you can do to me that's going to stop me from doing what I want to do. Your little hiccups, little financial hiccups and your little shortages and these I don't want to say little wars, but war, I'm gonna get through that, man. Like that's my plan. I'm just gonna it's not even gonna be in my mind, it's not even gonna be hard times. It's just gonna be times. It's just gonna be times. It's just gonna be what it is. You know what I mean? I just have to survive and thrive. I can't sit around and whine because I'm not put in the optimal, situations to thrive. What, like we were saying earlier, there might actually be survival might be harder, but thriving might be easier. In the next 5 years, we might learn some lessons that the sixth year from now, we are so happy we learned. And we might be like, man, it kind of sucked. There had to be all this pain and suffering and whatever that went along with it. But man, am I so happy I went through that. We all have stuff now. Things we went through in our past that when we look back was like, man, that sucked. But I'm glad I went through it. We all have that stuff. If not, well, maybe a mindset change. Maybe you have some things in your life that you look back through and you still whine about, and you're like, oh, that woe is me, blah, blah, blah. Instead of doing that, ask yourself, did I learn anything from that? And that is a way, I know that's a method I and a lot of people have used to like let go of some of their past traumas and things like that. I know there's a lot more to it. But one of the things that helps is to be like, okay, I went through that. It was traumatic. What did I learn from that? What was the lesson in that? Did I grow? Sometimes just the knowing we can get through a situation like that is powerful, is worth going through it. Sometimes just knowing, because you can be looking at something in the future like, man, that's gonna be kind of tough. You can look back and be like, oh, I remember in 1995 when I went through so and so, so and so. I got through it. It sucked, but I got through it. I can get through this. So this may be one of them periods. We go through this, and then 2035, I'm forgetting what year it is. 2035 rolls around and something else comes up and be like, man, I got through 2023 through 2027. I ain't worried about this. Y'all kids think this is crazy? Nah. Yeah, that's why you'll notice older people typically never get as worked up as the young people. I promise you, ain't nobody 80 or older worried right now. They is not the slightest bit worried right now. They didn't seen this before. They didn't seen this before. They not worried. You in your 70s, you lived through Vietnam, you don't worry about that. You know what I mean? Like, they're not worried about this. It's people, are 40, we ain't seen all this crazy, The older you get, the more you've seen, the less you worry about stuff. Ain't nobody over 80 worried right now. They still in retirement homes getting it in. Y'all done heard the stats about STDs at retirement homes. They not, they are not worried about this stuff right now. They've seen it. We'll be the same way when we get to the other side of this. Yeah, I went through that. Actually, wasn't, it was some hard times, but like learned a lot, grew a lot. Wouldn't be the man I am today. Wouldn't be the woman I am today if I didn't go through that. So like I'm low-key excited to see the person I'll be when all this is over. You know what I mean? Like I'm low-key excited to see like how much I'm gonna grow if things really get crazy. What is it gonna teach me? What am I gonna learn? It might be one of those situations where, it comes and goes, and I'm like, wow, that really wasn't near as bad as people said. I remember like in the 2008 financial crisis, my boss, like leading up to it, because he was one of those people, very intelligent man. Shout out to John. And so he was always had his pulse on kind of what was going on in the world. He kind of saw it coming. And so he kept telling us, I was mowing grass at the time, I was foreman for a lawn care company. He kept saying, hey, the lawn guy is always the first person to stop getting paid when financial trouble comes. So he kept warning us, like, hey, things are starting to get a little rough. There might be some cutbacks. We might not have as many hours. I'm gonna try to keep everybody hired, but like, if the ish hits the fan, we might all be broke. Fast forward like 2, 3 years later, or a couple of years later, we was kind of out of the whole mess, and nothing bad had really happened. Like we lost a couple contracts and things like that. But he always used to say, he's like, man, the contracts we lost were the ones I wanted to lose anyway. Like the customers that were annoying, and we were always spending all this time at their houses, all of them quit, and all the like the good customers stayed. It was crazy. And though there were some times where, like, yeah, people couldn't pay on time, but it all worked out. And it honestly, like, never really affected me. Like, it was crazy. So I'm like, I know there is possible to like go through hard times and it not even affect you. But like, even if it does, there's some positives that can come from it. We don't always have to look at it solely as hard times are coming. It's going to be horrible. It's 100% going to suck. Woe is me. You can look at it like, okay, I'll be put through some tests, some trials, some tribulations, but I might actually like become the man or woman I want to be, or closer to that during this time period. I might find the love of my life during this time period. I might get a lot closer to my family during this time period. I might find my dream job if you have one of those during this time period. I might really hone in on my passion during this time period because, like, I get everything gets so crazy, I'm forced to do my passion or I'll go crazy. I'm forced to do it because all my other options are exhausted. I'm like, man, I gotta dial in on this because this is the only thing keeping me sane. Who knows? We don't have to look at it solely. We don't have to look at it solely from, oh, it's gonna be horrible. It's gonna be bad. I said early in the beginning, as I'm doing my spiel, I won't be in the chat as much. So yeah, when I finish with my spiel here, I've been looking at the chat, but a lot of times when I do kind of just these talky segments, I'm not really totally in the chat. So as I was looking, I noticed someone said something about that. But yeah, we keeping it here for a little while, but we will get to the chat later. And it really doesn't help. Another thing we like to do as humans, and I think it goes back to like our caveman days. We like to just sit around and I think there was a time when danger was very present and very clear. When you're sitting in a cave and there's saber-toothed tigers lurking about, you need to like extrapolate what, okay, I hear that sound. What could that be? Like you need to use your imagination a lot more. Okay. Like when you're in the bush, okay, and there's predators all around, you need to use your imagination. We are so comfortable now that we really don't need to use our imaginations for survival, yet we still have them. And so we still use them like that. We hear one thing, well, oh, that could lead to this, that could lead to this, that could lead to this, that could lead to this. Before you know it, we're like 10 years in the future thinking it's nuclear war. People are already there. People right now are worried about nuclear war. I keep telling people you don't have to worry about nuclear war because if it happens, you won't know it happened. You'll just wake up in whatever place you're destined to wake up, surprised. You just wake up next to Jesus if that's where you think you're going to wake up. Like, where's my skin? Like, last thing I knew, I was driving to work. Where we? What? You know what I mean? You just gonna wake up wherever you gonna wake up. Surprise. So you don't have to worry about nuclear war because when it happens, it will be very quick. There might be a siren. I don't even think they got them sirens. That's just the movies. Do they have like nuclear war sirens? You know what I mean? Like, but that's what we do with our imagination. We just sit around and extrapolate and imaginate these extrapolation. I like both of those. Even though extrapolation sounds a little. Who is calling me? Oh, nice, nice. It was got a message. But yeah, we just don't do that. So yeah, before you know it, We're 6 months, a year ahead, thinking of what's going to happen. Well, if that happens, this, and none of it happens. Ain't none of it happening or about to happen. And if it does, why does it? Why do I need to know about it now? Now I know some people say, well, that way I can get prepared. And I'm one of those people. Yeah, don't get scared, get prepared. I say that all the time. It's one of my favorite quotes. But like, there's only so much. Even with preparation, you have to get to the point where you let go. You have to get to the point where you say, I have no clue what is going to happen. This is what I'm going to do, and then I'm done. I'm going to stockpile some food. I'm going to, invest in this. I'm going to move here. This is what I'm going to do, and then I'm done. Because you're constantly just worried about it and trying to adjust and trying to like figure. You're not. You can't. You can't. You can't. Tell you that letting go is one of the biggest things. Once you just like, hey, hard times is coming. I know how I'm going to, react to them. Beyond that, I have no clue what's going to happen. I honestly don't want to know what's going to happen, but I know I'm going to survive and thrive best of my ability. And I'm going to let go of trying to affect the outcome or just, it's just a waste of time, man. And all that time now in the present, worrying about the future is just making your present worse. I'm like, if we do have some really crazy times coming, well, I definitely right now want to enjoy myself. I definitely right now, while the times aren't as bad, I definitely want to like be doing things I love with people I love, enjoying myself, having fun. I don't want to like already be in the hard times because I'm worrying about them and they ain't even here yet. They ain't even here yet. It's just like right now, like it's winter time. But we're still having some really nice days here in Colorado. I'm trying to be outside and enjoy these nice days because I know the days are coming where I ain't gonna try to be leaving the house. It's gonna be house, car. You mean like it's not gonna be no walking around taking in nature. It'd be dumb for me to be in the house now, be like, oh, it's gonna get cold soon. Oh, it's gonna get cold soon. I'm not gonna want to be out and not go outside. Spend so much time worried about what's gonna happen in the future with the weather that I don't go outside now. It's the same thing. People are so worried about how bad it's going to get that like they're not enjoying the decent times. If food prices are going to go through the roof, now's the time to be to buying that food, enjoying it, enjoy yourself. Get you that steak, get you that lobster, get you whatever else rich people eat. Enjoy yourself. If prices are going to go up, buy yourself a little couple things now. Don't get crazy with it, but have a little fun now. You're gonna be jammed up when the hard times don't come, and you just you just spend all your little money on filet mignons, mignots, fillet mignots. You just spend your little money on fillet mignon, on filet mignon, and the hard times don't come. But I'm just saying, like it's funny, like how goes for say about logic. Like we can get very logical. Times are about to get rough, so I'm gonna hide in my room under the bed. No, go out and be doing some stuff now that you might not be able to do. If you think war is coming, well, you best do some stuff you can't do when war gets here, right? But we do the opposite. We'll just sit around and worry about war. That's always stopped war from happening. If more people had worried, we wouldn't have had World War I or World War II. No, the more people worry, I think it makes wars happen. Enjoy yourself. That's life, man. Life, the things that are life. Like my life motto is do what you love, what people you love. That's no matter what. There's no like, unless the world goes crazy. Nah, there's no, you know what I mean? Whatever you're here to do, or whatever you feel you want to do with this life. Do that no matter what to the best of your ability. Very simple. Oh, them underarms are sweating already. That boy's working. I mean, it's simple. I'll tell you, life is very simple, man. All this other stuff just comes in, all this other human stuff. You'll notice nothing else on the planet is worried about inflation and shortages and nothing. You notice this? The animals ain't worried about it. The stars ain't worried about it. The mountains ain't worried about it. The insects aren't worried about it. Nothing else is worried about this stuff. You ever notice? We are the only people who have created this society where there's all this stuff we have to worry about. Just putting that out there. Nothing else is worried. This is totally a human problem. Totally human problem. But like we can look beyond that. That's why I love like tapping into nature and spirituality because it's bigger than all of this. And no matter what's going on, I can still enjoy nature. Um, Even if it's wintertime and I have to enjoy it out the window. But like I can always enjoy nature. I can always tap into spirituality. The important things in life do not change just because there's economic hardship, things of that nature. The important things in life are always the important things in life. So my plan is to focus on them like I've always tried to do. By the way, ladies and gentlemen, we just hit 100 likes. I appreciate that. If you're enjoying the stream and you haven't hit the like button, if you could do that for your boy, that really helps me out and everyone out because the algorithm likes likes. It likes likes, and I think it sends more people to do more liking of the likes. So that's my plan, ladies and gentlemen. I'm not getting worked up. I'm not getting scared. I'd be lying if I didn't say that sometimes when I see, certain, the internet loves to put news in front of you. The world loves to put news in front of you. So I'd be lying if I said I don't see certain news stories sometimes that it kind of does that to me. But I have to bring myself back to center. Like I said, I got friends all over the world. Sometimes I'll come across a story and it's happening in a part of the world where I got people I care about, and it might be some crazy headline that I know isn't true but stops me in my tracks. I just don't focus on it. I give it a minute and then I'm like, Tim, hey, if it happens, it happens. If it happens, it happens. We just have to get through it. I'll be down there to the soup kitchen. I'll, have 12 roommates. We'll eat once a day, whatever. I kind of do that now. Well, twice a day. But yeah, it's just like you don't have to dwell. You don't have to worry beyond natural levels of worry. You know what I mean? I think we all just as humans have natural levels of worry. You don't have to worry past that. It's the unnatural levels that are toxic and that get you down and get you depressed and have you stressed before the stuff even happens, if it ever happens. Tell you 5 years from now, we might come through this and be like, man, like that was tough. Or be like, that was interesting. Or be like, man, that wasn't even that bad. That wasn't even that bad. Yes. So that was my spiel, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to get into the comments now. I've been seeing a lot of good comments, a lot of good talk, but I kind of had to get that off my chest. And I want to say too, I totally stole Nathanial Drew, I think is his name. He posted a video with the same title. I totally stole that idea from him. I didn't even watch his video, but I read the title and I'm like, you know what? I like that. I'm rolling with it because this is what we do. This is what we do. We just come up with ideas. We go. When we feel moved, we go. I will admit that I do think in the past few months, I had one of the things, and I might talk about this more later, but speaking of passion, I think that I had allowed my passion, which is motivation over the internet, to become a business. When I went full time on YouTube, it got very businessy. And I started to think a lot more about views and clicks and stuff like that than just the message. So what we're trying to do now is get back to the message and not care whether it becomes viral or anything like that. Is to get the message out there. And so I felt moved to give this message today. So we're doing it. We not worry about the rest of it. You know. So let's put that out there. Paulina, yes, I hit the not interested, show me less video thing on a lot of stuff because yeah, like I said, every now and then I'll tune in and I might say, like I said, I have friends in Russia, so every now and then I tune into what's going on with the Russia-Ukraine war because I'm interested. I saw that they started to like maybe do some conscription in Russia. I got nervous. I got friends in their 20s. I looked at it. I went to check on it. But after that, yeah, YouTube just kept recommending war stuff. I had to start saying not interested, not interested, not interested. Yeah, I definitely do that. Because yeah, the algorithm these days are so sharp. If you tune into any of that, it's gonna show you that nonstop. I see you, Praveen. I've been seeing your comments, Praveen. I've been seeing your comments. Uh, Amos says, "Have you traveled any place where the people are extra friendly and helpful?" You know what's crazy? Pretty much everywhere I've been, I'd say 90% of the places I've been, people have been extra friendly and helpful. There have been some places like Estes Park, Colorado, stands out in my mind as one of the friendliest places I have ever been. Estes Park, Colorado. Every time I go there, these people are so friendly. Like, this is the example I always give. There's a beautiful lake. I like to walk around there. I've done a couple of videos there. You know when you're walking, like you're coming this direction and someone's coming another direction, like you're coming towards each other, and there's that moment where you kind of like look away and then you look back up when y'all get close to say hello. You know, you have that moment where like you don't want to stare at them the whole time, walk. So you gotta look away, and then when they get really close, you're like, oh hey. Um, some of y'all from cities where people don't speak, y'all don't know what I'm talking about. But other places people speak, you have kind of that moment. And Estes, and I'm usually the first person to speak because I'm very outgoing. I want people to know, hey, I'm just here. I'm nice. I'm friendly. In Estes Park, they always speak before me. Like I would be doing my little look away, and I'm in my mind. I'm like, okay, in 10 seconds when we get closer, I'm gonna look back up, say hello. I'm still doing my look away, and they're like, hey, how you doing? Good to see you. Hey, I mean, just random people. Estes Park, one of the nicest places I've ever been. Like people always surprising me with their level of friendliness. You just walk in anywhere and like people are just super friendly, and so yeah, but pretty much 90% of places I've been, people have been helpful and friendly. Like that's people's natural state, I think. Natural, and I think it does help that a lot of times I'm in touristy places. You go to national parks, people are in a better mood than in the middle of the city, just the way it is. So yeah, but most of the time people are friendly places I go. Jeanette, I'm with you about precious metals. I do agree that I think this will be a good time if you have the extra money to throw a little money at some precious metals. I agree with you on that. Chocolate Nomad said, "I live here in Denver. All I see is new buildings going up, people partying on the weekend, grocery stores packed with food and stuff, 40% off. I want to be part of this economic crash." That's what gets crazy, Chocolate Nomad. Like I see some prices going up, but I'm with you. I see a lot of discount stuff too. I be at the discount meat section all the time. So yeah, it's kind of weird. Stuff going up, but then I see a lot of discount stuff too. So who knows? Simi, you're welcome. Hey, Ricky. Yeah. I took a little time off. I appreciate you live streaming, of marathoning the old live streams. I took a little time off. Part of that is kind of what I said earlier. Like I felt like some of the passion was leaving, and I also one of the things I've noticed too is kind of the bigger you get, the more the weirdos and the trolls come out, and I just kind of needed a break from that too. Like 99% of the comments are good. Love y'all, everybody respectful. But as your channel starts to grow, and if you're still trying to, and this I understand, this is why a lot of creators, when they get bigger, stop reading the comments because you just start. I try to be in the comments all the time because I'll hear what y'all have to say, and like I said, I get so much love from them. But even with all that love, you still come across all the trolling negative stuff. And I was like, I kind of needed just a couple weeks of just I wanted to when I came back just to be on fire like I was this morning to do this live stream, the passion, and I just needed kind of a little break. So, but I appreciate you watching the old stuff. Any advice for staying sober during the holidays? I actually have a video about that on my sobriety channel, and I might make one for this channel. Ism, real quick, because it's kind of a longer um discussion. One of the things I found is you don't have to, if you know you're going to go to Thanksgiving dinner at grandma's, you're going to drink, you don't have to go. You know what I mean? Sobriety is more important than anything else in your life. There will be plenty more Thanksgivings. You know what I mean? Unless there's just like a family member you think this might be their last Thanksgiving or something like that. There will be many more. It is okay to miss an event in the name of sobriety. It's okay. And real family will understand. Not to mention too, um, one of the things I found is like if I go somewhere and I'm not drinking, I don't have. I used to think I had to break down my whole sobriety journey and process. I'll just say people like, "Oh, you ain't drinking this Christmas? You have the company Christmas party. Tell me you ain't drinking." It's like, nah, I just really ain't been. The alcohol just hasn't been sitting right with me lately. Something like that. Nah, I just been messing with. It's true. That's true. Yeah, the alcohol's been messing with me. I'm just gonna take it easy this year. I'm just gonna watch y'all idiots get drunk. You know what I mean? Like I think a lot of times people fear like the judgment and all. You just make a joke out of them. Nah, I'm gonna let y'all idiots get drunk. I'm gonna be the designated driver and drive your Mercedes home when you get drunk. You know what I mean? Just you don't have to go all into I'm getting sober. I'm doing just kind of make light of it. Don't drink. And then just to realize you're strong. If you cannot drink any day of the year, you cannot drink any day of the year. A lot of times in our minds, we've worked it up to this thing where, oh, it's gonna be so hard not to drink at Christmas. It's gonna be so hard not to drink. Like, no, just realize, hey, if I didn't drink on a random Tuesday in July, I don't have to. You know, it's all you have to do is keep yourself from grabbing an alcoholic beverage and drinking it. It's the same effort that you have to stop all year round. It's like more mental on the holidays. But if you can get past that and realize like all I have to do is not grab the drink and drink it. I may want to, I may be salivating over it every fiber of my all I have to do is just make myself not grab it and drink it. I definitely think it's possible. But I'll probably be making a video about that. La La Lee, Newport Beach, California is like that. People speak. Yeah, man. Let's tell you, yeah, and if you're not used to it, it's weird. I've had people come out to like a seasonal job and they've been like, man, like when they first get there, they're just kind of like a little wigged out when they go places, nearby or even at the job. I'm like, man, everybody's so friendly. I'm like, yeah, that's the way it's supposed to be. How to conquer the fear of driving through mountains? Driving through the mountains. That's one of those fears. You can't conquer it. Just doing it. Just doing it. Like I'll admit, I don't like driving through the mountains. I really don't. Um, Part of that is because I didn't see what can happen when it goes wrong. You know what I mean? Coming from Florida, flatlands to Montana, Colorado, and seeing the accidents, seeing cars in the river, hearing about people dying, like but you have being in the car where we almost died. You know what I mean? We were through some, but it's one of those things you just have to do it. Snow White Cupcakes. Yes, I have a sobriety channel. Yes, and Snow White Cupcakes. I want to say thank you for checking on me. I saw you had a couple different comments where you were worried about me, so I appreciate that. I saw that. I wasn't really answering comments because I was taking some time off, but I saw that Snow White Cupcake, so I appreciate that. That made me feel loved. So I appreciate your concern. Thank you, and some other people did too as well. But I remember there were several from you, so thank you. Oh, Jay Cortez, you went to Jamaica? Okay. Okay, took JetBlue. All right, it's underrated. Good service in a minute. Okay, 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 okay. I love that. Hard times don't last. Tough people. Yes, yes. Oh yeah, my sobriety channel. The link I think is in my comment box. It may not be. Um, if not, I don't know where I put it. Hold on. I can. Did I? No, I didn't. Here's the link to the sobriety channel. I got to start working on that too. Yeah, we took a couple weeks off from everything. Yeah, Danielle, we good. We good. Retired 2019. Good to see you. You're right. Like life gets hard sometimes, but like that is life. You know, like when you sit back and realize like, oh, this is the game. I y'all know I love my WNBA basketball. You know, free BG. Um, and sometimes like there'll be bad calls. The referees they're not infallible. Like they're gonna make mistakes. Sometimes they're bad calls. And I remember one time one of the announcers were just saying like the really good to be like a really good player. Um, like total package, one of the things you have to accept is in this game there will be bad calls because you'll see a lot of like athletically great players get thrown off their game because of a bad call, which usually leads to them getting an attitude. They end up getting attacked. You know what I mean? They get mad at the officials. They are like it throws them off their game. but you'll notice like some of the really great players never react. They call 3 fouls in a row that they didn't even touch the person. They're just like, it's part of the game. You understand that if you're going to be a great in this game, you have to accept there's going to be bad calls. There's going to be called, but there's also the opposite. Sometimes you foul somebody, you get away with it. It's part of the game. So I feel like life is like that. Like we have to understand this is part of the game. You are not going to have a life that does not have pain and suffering, hard times. So like you can sit around and wish you could, and maybe on some other universe you might one day. Like, oh, this universe is great, no hard times. You probably get bored out of your mind. I'm trying to get back to Earth, but in this planet, in this existence, in this universe, part of the game is the hard times. So like, why sit around and worry about it? You just have to deal with it. That's it. You have to deal with it. I was thinking about this the other day. I'm like, what's crazy? I said, what's crazy? Like, I don't have problems. Now I'm still working on this one, but it's like, I'll say, not just me, none of us. None of us have problems. It's just events that happen that you have to deal with. You know what I mean? If we did not have the word problem in our vocabulary, if we did not have the word problem in our vocabulary, things would just happen and you would just deal with it. We've created the concept of a problem, something is wrong. See how powerful words are? Something happens, oh, that's a problem. Something's wrong. With the idea that we're having a problem. But no, like you can look at it, there's no problems. Things just happen. That's life. Things just happen. You have to deal with them. That's all life. Sometimes they're good things and the dealing with them brings us joy and pleasure and it's amazing. Sometimes there's things that don't. Sometimes it's in the middle. Sometimes we're on 10, sometimes we're on 5, sometimes we're on 1. That's just the game. Like, and the sooner we accept that and just go on with it, like the easier it is, life is. Like the better the 10s are. The better everything is. Actually, when you're like, oh, this is just part of it. But when we get so wrapped up in the happening and that becomes life, when the economy becomes life, when the election becomes life, when food prices become life, like, bro, no, like life is bigger than all that. All that stuff is just something we do to pass the time. All that stuff is just, we've made all that up. Because you got to look at it this way. If there were no elections, would life still go on? Yes. If there was no money, no stock market, no economy, would life still go on? Yes. If there was no love, would life still go on? No. If there was no happiness, would life still go on? No. If there was no passion, would life still go on? No. So like that's what I'm like. I look at something like, hey, would life still go on if this totally wasn't in our life? Yes. Then I ain't got to worry about it like that. If it's something that life wouldn't go on, if it was taken totally from us, that's the stuff I key in on. Hey, Tiffany, thank you so much, Tiffany. Super Chat Squad in the building. I appreciate that, Tiffany. Said, hey, Tim, you're such an inspiration to me. Thank you. I finally decided to start a YouTube channel about weight loss, self-improvement. That's amazing, mostly because of your encouragement. What to use to edit your videos and make thumbnails. Thank you. You are welcome, and that's awesome, Tiffany. Let us know when you get the channel where you want it. Drop the link. We want to check you out. I use a program called Canva for my thumbnails. And I think it's an amazing program. They have a free version, Canva, Canva. Actually, let me drop the link. Hold on. Let's see. Where's it at? There it is. Okay. Yeah, let me drop the link. I don't want all that. I just want the. There we go. Hold on. Drop the links. Super Chat Squad, thank you. Yeah, Canva to do my thumbnails. They have a free version. I have the paid version. I think it's worth it. I think it's $9 a month or something like that. But one good thumbnail, once you get monetized, you make your money back. Like it's worth it. But they have so many free images. Like Canva is an amazing. It also has way more stuff than just like for thumbnails. It's an amazing website and program. Highly recommend Canva. For editing, I use Adobe Premiere Elements. So Adobe Premiere is the big whammo jammo that like a lot of the real time YouTubers use. But I think it's like monthly. You have to pay like $50 a month or something. Adobe Premiere Elements is $100 one time. And every 2-3 years you probably need to upgrade to the new one. But it's $100 and it does everything you need starting out. Like I still use it. I still use it. I probably should upgrade, but like I still use it and it works just fine. So yeah, Adobe Premiere Elements and Canva are the tools I use. Super Chat Squad, thanks again. Thank you. EB23, we here. Jennifer, hello, hello. I'm just reading the comments here. Proper dough, I do not have any kids. I don't have any kids. And I'll be honest, yeah, I will. I speak my truth, but I totally understand other people have different circumstances. And of course, if you have a spouse or you have kids, your worry level goes up. That's obvious. If all I have to do is worry about me and my friends and my family, I'm not going to be as worried as if like 3, 4 other mouths to feed, things of that nature. Of course. I've never said otherwise, you know, but I also don't feel like I have to state that because I think it's obvious. You know what I mean? All I can do is give my truth. We would never get anywhere. I could never put out the message if I had to spend 20 minutes putting, by the way, this message only totally applies to me for people, you know what I mean? Like I can't put disclaimers in front of, you know what I mean? I can't put disclaimers in front of my message. I think most people can see that obviously there's going to be a different level of worry if you have more people to worry about and to take care of. So I get that, but I think the message holds true. Like no matter where, say my worry level's here naturally, and yours is here, it still holds true that that's the level we want to try to keep it at and not go higher. Right? It still holds true that you don't want to worry unnecessarily, correct? That could just be my personal logic. But so, yeah, I totally mean, of course, there's people who worry more about the world than me. They got more going on. I also could add that they made the choice to have those kids in most cases. So, like, it's always weird for me when I talk about something from my standpoint, not having kids and not being married, a lot of that, by choice. And then people will say, well, it'd be different if you had all these things. And I'm like, yeah, but I don't because I realize that. So it's like I couldn't go out and I would never go out and make a decision and do something. And then when someone who didn't make that decision spoke their truth, be like, oh, it's because of that. Bruh, like you chose to have kids. So if you do worry more, that's because you chose to have kids, knowing you'd have to worry about them. Not saying it's wrong having kids, but I'm just saying, like, I'm not going to change my message because of choices other people made, nor would I want people to change their message because of the choices I made. You know what I mean? Okay, I'm behind these comments. Where am I? Where am I? Where am I? Oh, the winter's been good, Barbara. The winter's been okay. Um, yeah, we had snow a couple times. Am I planning to branch off? No, I'm not planning to branch off to Twitter, Paulina. But I mean, hey, you never know. Elon might turn into YouTube competition. I doubt it. But John, oh, you making $4 grand a month? Is 565 a payment good or not? I think it depends on what your other bills are, John. It depends. If that 565 ain't bothering you, you want the truck, go for it. Sonia, thank you, Super Chat Squad. I appreciate that love. Thank you, Sonia. Thank you. Just glad to see you're okay. I thought I thought Comfort Zone Chris hit you away somewhere. Nah, we good. I was just taking a little break. Just taking a little break. But yeah, thank you, Super Chat Squad. Appreciate the love. Feels good to be missed. So it's good to be best. Love the love. But nah, covers on Chris. He done ran away. He don't want it with me. He don't want no smoke. My thoughts on the crypto market. I really feel like this is a good buying opportunity for crypto. So yeah, I'm still buying. I see you, Praveen, with the raise. Congratulations, Praveen, getting that raise. Okay, I see you. Hey, assistants got a seasonal job, want to work for the rest of the year. Nice, nice. Hey, you're welcome. You're welcome. Glad you took the advice. Gone. Not. It's not a real stream unless you have to block somebody. Jade Dragon, hello. Yeah, it snowed a couple times here, but it kind of melted right away. You still get 80s out there on the coast. Nice. Andrew, I think if hard times come, they're coming for everybody. But yeah, I mean, the poor always gets affected the most. You know what I mean? That's sad, but it's the truth in society. The poor always get affected the most. I don't like to break the poor down into. I'm a big believer that class is the big issue now, not race. A lot of people disagree. Um, but the poor always get affected most times like these, which is the society we've created, and I hate it. But yeah, yeah, sadly. I don't know anything about the FTX exchange, Ro. I don't really, I don't, yeah, I don't know. I don't know anything about that. Alan, do I ever feel guilty when I don't work for a few months? Yes, yeah, a little, yes, sometimes. Sometimes when I take some time off and I'm not working, there is kind of this feeling of, I won't say guilt. I'll say unworthiness. It's a weird feeling to not be going to work and everybody else is. And you're kind of like, what did I do to like justify? Good to see you, ladies first. Is like, what did I do to be able to like justify being able to like pay my bills through something I enjoy doing? Like, why can I do it and not everybody else? You know what I mean? Like, there is comes sometimes that feeling of unworthiness. Um, but then you just have to realize, like, you put in the pain, Tim. You've been doing this 10 years. You put the pain in. You know what I mean? So, but yeah, sometimes there's that feeling of like unworthiness. Osama, yeah, the value of the dollar is shrinking every day. Been saying that. I've been saying that for years. I've been saying that for years. I'm kind of, I don't like when there's economic problems because of the pain it causes people, especially the poor. But part of me, I'd be lying if I wasn't like, if you've been saying, hey, this is going to happen for years, and it looks like it's finally starting to happen. There's a party that's like, I've been telling y'all, So it's just like I think more. It's good to see more and more people waking up to the state of like our economy. In 26, I agree. We can't remove race from the equation. Yes. Is there racism in the world? Yes, there will always be racism in the world. I think our big issue now is classism, though. As the wealth gap gets bigger and bigger, I think class is the big issue. Um, but I think we're just been conditioned to hold on to race when that's not the main issue. And just if the boat is sinking, if we're all sitting around in a lifeboat hungry, hunger might be the big issue right then because we don't want to starve. But if the lifeboat starts to sink, well, we gotta, you know what I mean? We gotta fix that, the bigger issue. We gotta turn more of our attention to that than fishing right now. We're all in a lifeboat. We got no food. We trying to fish, find something to eat, whatever. If the boat starts to sink, well, we got to fix that first. But yeah, of course, we still got to worry about this hunger thing. And I think that's just how it is now. Like, we've been so conditioned to think that racism is the biggest problem in America. And I really think class and some other stuff is bigger. And it's like, yeah, we still got we've came a long way with the race stuff. We always seem to forget that too. We've come a long way with racism, and yes, we have ways to go. I'm always saying this: the race of people who have had it worse in this country is the Native Americans, and we ain't done nothing for them yet. Don't say casinos. We ain't done nothing for them yet. So do we have racial issues? Yes. But I feel like that's not the major issue now. That's not what's causing the boat to sink right now. We need to fix that. Then when that's fixed, we can get back to this other stuff. But like we just been conditioned to like be so sensitive about race. I get it. But it's like we can realize it's a problem, but focus on other things. Just my opinion. My opinion. Thomas, good to see you. JA checking in from France. Yes. I was just watching some French basketball. Marine Johannes. Yes. Jess, thank you. So welcome back. You were missed. Thank you. Thank you. YouTube needs a gone fishing flag for creators. I feel like a lot of creators have been taking breaks recently. I don't know why, but it seems like more than normal. Some of my must-haves in life, you gotta have people you love and trust. And most of my other must-haves are survival based. Like you gotta have food and clothes and shelter. And for me, it's not a must-have, but I prefer to like have nature in my life. Yeah, I agree. 26. Yeah, there's a huge amount of money spent on yeah keeping the divide going. You stand divided, you fall. You know what I mean? So you spend years and years and years building up this rift, and then you keep it there, and then the people can never come together. One of the reasons I'm big on travel. One of the reasons I'm so big on travel is because when you go to a different part of the country, especially if you go to a part of the country where there's not a lot of people who look like you, and you still get love, like we were talking about earlier, super helpful, friendly people. It makes you realize, oh, this thing ain't what I thought it was. I'm telling you, most of the people, there's exceptions, but most of the people I know who do a lot of traveling never talk about race. I'm just, there's exceptions, but most of the people I know who do a lot of traveling never talk about race because they just see so many different races and they know so many awesome people of different races and creeds and genders and sexual orientations. Most people I know go open-minded because they know so many different people. But a lot of people, if you just stay in one area, and not saying just because you stay in one area, you're not going to be open-minded. I'm saying I just know a lot of people, on the other hand, who just stay in one area, stay around one group of people, and their minds are very closed because they don't know but one or two of them. When everybody you meet is other, there ceases to be other. There's not a us versus them when everybody, you know what I mean? You can't have us versus them when you got friends of all faiths and creeds and colors and all this other stuff. There is no us or everybody's us. There is no them, I should say. Riding the wave. The plan is to just keep doing what I've been doing. Focus on the positive, let go of the things I can't affect and change. The goals and things I had for life, you know, the major, huge, important things in life that life are really about have nothing to do with the times we're going through. So I'm going to continue focusing on the things I've always focused on because they're bigger than inflation or diesel shortages or even war. As long as I'm surviving, my plan is to continue trying to get the life I want. Simple. Not going to focus on all the other craziness. Hey, Dina, good to see you. Good to see you. I missed y'all too. Thank you. Oh, Osama, I got to stop you there. I got to stop you there. I got to stop you there. I have to stop you there. The stereotypes for Native Americans are not, for the most part, positive. They are not. No, no, no. I ain't coming at you. The stereotypes are the, the stereotypes of Native Americans are not positive. No, no. Like I said, we got a lot of work to do for a lot of races in this country, but the one that the worst that we've done the least for is Native Americans. The reason we don't realize this is because most of us don't know no Native Americans. So the average person gets all their information on Native Americans from other people. I know Native Americans. I've been on the res, a couple different ones. Been through them, been on them, talked to Native Americans. I'm telling you, it ain't, you know what I mean? That's why when someone's like, we gave them casinos, I get all mad. I try not to get mad. I get a little worked up because it's like, bro, like that. No, 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 no. Sorry. That's one of my trigger points. Like we all, and like all of our ancestors played a part in the genocide and mass murder of Native Americans. Unless your ancestors just came over here recently. If you was over here back in the 1870s, 1800s, like ours were, we played a part in it too. You know, Buffalo soldiers, black folks, come on now, we all played a part. If we gonna go back in the past, if we're gonna go back in the past and dig up stuff that happened in the past and blame people, we got to take our blame too. That's all I'm saying. Anyway, and what I'm saying, like all okay, we're gonna move on. We're gonna move on. Super Cat Squad, Dina, thank you. So keep it up. Thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you, Dina. Thank you, Super Cat Squad. Oh, my bad, Osama. Oh, my bad. You speaking of Indian Asian Americans? I apologize. Super Cat Squad. I appreciate that love. Now, see, that's a gentleman. That's a gentleman. I was out here left field, corrected me with cash. Hey, when I'm wrong, I'm wrong. Okay, all right. I was speaking Native American. I'm sorry. That's one of my pressure points. I apologize. I apologize. Speaking all facts, but Super Cat Squad. If I was wrong on that, Osama, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I don't always get to see all the chats. Correcting me with cash. I'll take that. I got to start being wrong more often. Simon Soul, exactly. Like life is what it is, and sometimes it's hard, but we make it harder with our imagination and like people are worried about stuff that's going to happen 6 months from now that might not happen. You know how many people are worried about diesel fuel shortages right now and have extrapolated what's going to happen in their minds while we still have diesel fuel? Why would you do that? It makes no sense. No other organism on the planet that we know does that. The deer aren't like, man, what if there's no grass next year? The deer during the wintertime are not like, oh man, everything's frozen over. What if it stays frozen over forever? No, you just whatever. They happy they got grass or food in their bellies now. We're the only people who do that. It is not hot where I'm at. It's actually I think it's in the 40s outside right now. Sarah, yes, I'm here. Just facts. Hello. 2 weeks, 2.5 weeks away from your first single job. Nice. Selling your stuff, moving out. Yes. Gonna continue van life afterwards. That's awesome. Yeah, yeah. You say you're nervous, think about backing out. The nervousness is part of it. Okay. The fear is the fun part. I say this. Um, the nervousness is part of it. And as you do more stuff like this, you will see that yeah, that's part of because like that's really it. Okay. Doing it, it'll be fun, it'll be great, and it's an adventure. But that especially the initial getting over the fear is part of it. It is a big part of it because that's the growth. The growth is there. The other stuff that's fun, that I mean, you grow in that too, but that's the big growing moment is when like I'm super scared, I want to back out, I'm gonna do it anyway. That's something you will always have with you. And you will use that further in life when you something else, the next level. Oh, I'm gonna, blah blah blah, do this, and I want to do this. I'm nervous, I'm scared. Oh, I remember before I started seasonal work, before I started van life, I was super scared. I did it anyway. So like that's actually a really good space to be in. A, because it shows like you're about to do something, you're moving the needle. A lot of times in life we just do stuff that doesn't scare us. It's just our regular stuff. When you're nervous and you think about backing out, that means you're doing something that's moving the needle, that's pushing the envelope. So that's amazing. And it's natural. But like just do it anyway. Just tell yourself, come hell or high water, no matter how nervous you get, you're gonna do it. And yeah, the more stuff you sell, and you just set it up so you have to go. Just set it up so you have to go. Appreciate you saying that, Osama. So respect, no issue. Thank you. I apologize again. We're all unique. Now that comfort zone Chris guy, I haven't seen him, man. I haven't seen him. He shook. He don't want no smoke. EB23. I actually haven't set a schedule on live streams. Like I said, I just took some time off, so we'll see. Comfort zone Chris. He lives in Knee Knuckle, Kansas. Knee Knuckle, Kansas. Went to Knee Knuckle High. Someone. I'm good. I'm good. I'm good. I'm good. Appreciate you checking in on me. Love you as well. Love you so much. Thank you. Appreciate the love. Love y'all. Yeah. We just took a little time. Am I gonna write a book on sobriety, Kay? I don't know. Like, I don't know if I'm qualified. I don't know. That's actually a good idea. But yeah, I don't like the sobriety means it's so important that I would really have to. It would have to be it would have to be a book that I really thought could help people, because since it is so important and there's a lot of people trying to make money off of it, I don't want to be in that club unless could write something that I know could benefit people. Yeah, I want my little 1099 when they buy it, cool. But like, the important thing is that, can somebody read this book and it help them get sober? There's other books I might want to write that would, yeah, I want to help people, but it also could be entertaining and whatever. If people got a good laugh out of it, I'm happy. But like a sobriety book, I would want it to, it'd have to be very well done, in my opinion. But thank you for what you're saying about my sobriety advice. Thank you. Carol, hello, hello, hello. Missed you too. We're back. Good to see you. Oh, John, I don't know. You said people buy designer materials when they find out you support your content creators, they flip out. People are weird. Part of that is there's still a stigma about influencers, content creators, and I kind of understand it, because there's a lot of scummy, fake, lying influencers and content creators. So there's a stigma out there about content creators. They're like the new used car salesman. Okay, so there's some people who just don't rock with them. Also, you'll always get people jealous whenever you support a person, especially in an unconventional way, as opposed to supporting a company. I don't know why it is, but yeah, if you go, oh, I'm gonna buy this Gucci belt for $500, nobody cares. If you say, oh, I just love Jane's videos, I'm gonna shoot her $5, you're like, why are you gonna get that girl that money? Yeah, people just weird. So I mean, do what you do. But I can say, as content creators, we really appreciate it. And speaking of which, Super Cat Squad, thank you, Praveen. My boy Praveen said, love to see you live streaming again and hope you stream more often. Thank you, Praveen. Always love to participate in your streams, and always love to have you in them, man. Yeah, thank you so much, Praveen, and I appreciate you being here, man. Being here. Thank you. Super Chat Squad. It's love. It's love. Praveen got that raise. He kicking that money back. Paying it. No, I'm joking. Okay. All right. Hey, Jade, I appreciate you saying that. So, of course, you're qualified. Thank you. Thank you. What great 100? Great 100. Yes. Pretty new to your channel, Tim, but over the past week, I've done nothing but absorb your videos. I'm 21 and thinking of how to branch out of this making big money scheme, but I'm currently working. Appreciate you absorbing the videos. Glad you're liking them. And yeah, you will, if you're trying to branch out and do some different things and get out of the work, the rat race, if you will. Sometimes it takes time, but it's possible. You're young, so that's good that at that age you're thinking along those lines. A lot of people don't think about it until like 20 years later, when they're just super depressed and down and they didn't got beaten down. So yeah, like, and that's where it starts, is thinking about ideals, trying some things out, and then one day it happens. So yeah, just you're on the right path. You're on the right path. As Gary Vee says, a lot of times, just to pay for all of us, it's just the patience of, all right, I'm on the right path. Let me just stay on the path, however long it takes, no matter what we go through in the world, then you'll get there. So I appreciate that love. Bandit, thank you. Yeah, we're good. We're good. Penny is also, hey. Be peaceful, yeah, man. The reason I know class is a big issue is because nobody wants to talk about it. Once again, if everybody's looking left, look right. Whatever the news is steady trying to put in your face, there's something else they hiding. Every now and then they'll talk about class warfare, but usually they talk about it like it's not real. Oh, people are I'm telling you, you know it's a big issue when the news ain't trying to talk about it. Yeah, I have a car, little Prius, silver lumberjack. We took a little time off, took a little time off. Every now and then got to. Just needed to. I wanted to get back to the passion of it. And I needed a little time away from the trolls. But that's a good point, Jade. When I do, like I said, every now and then I'll tap in the news, what's going on in the world, just to get updated, and I make a point to look at world news. There's some, all news is slanted. My dad taught me that years ago when I was a little kid. He's like, all news is slanted, but a lot of times there's certain stations that are less slanted, and world news. There's some places like a lot of time local, like your country's news or your whatever news is going to have a huge slant with your news. The slant may not be as big. Like if I'm in America, when they talk about Australia, the news is not as slanted because we don't really have a dog in the fight. Um, but when we talk about America, it's very slanted. So sometimes I'll watch other countries' news to see what they say about us, and I might hear some stuff I ain't heard, or just in general. There's some stations that I like watching just to kind of see what they have to say. Or you watch the same story, two different country stations, and you kind of get a what be going on. Hey, Barbara, glad to hear your scare didn't go through. Glad to hear it didn't happen. EB23. If I'm like back home down in Florida and old Ray or Mama Linda or somebody has Thanksgiving, I'll go. Like I don't really celebrate Thanksgiving, but once again, do what you love, what people you love. I'll turn up. But like everybody knows I don't celebrate Thanksgiving. But if you got the table set, Tim will sit down. You know what I mean? But so like I don't really celebrate Thanksgiving, but and I really think we need to change that narrative about what Thanksgiving was. I think that's very disrespectful. But I mean, yeah, if someone's throwing Thanksgiving, I'll go. But or if I don't feel like going, I won't. Like it's not a it's just another dinner. Hey, come over Thanksgiving. I'll come over. But like if I don't want, like I don't put any stock in the same with like Christmas parties. Like if someone's having a Christmas party and they invite me, I'll go. Like everybody knows I don't celebrate Christmas. I ain't bringing no gifts. I ain't accepting no gift. Like I'm not with all that. Most of my friends aren't either. But I'm not celebrating Christmas. I'll go. But if I don't go, I don't feel bad. Oh, you didn't go to Christmas? No, like I don't. If I'm there, I'm there. I usually like this year. I made a point to be here. I'm gonna be here during the holidays. Last year I was down with my buddy Ray during Christmas, and so I hung out at Christmas, and it was cool. But you know, sometimes it is awkward if there's other people around who don't know you don't celebrate. What I mean? So sometimes I won't. But like, yeah, I don't feel any obligation to celebrate holidays. But like I don't do nothing on Halloween. But yeah, I'll go to Thanksgiving dinner. I might go to a Christmas party. Claire, I'm good. I'm good. Yeah, we back. We back. We back. Yeah, Aqua Moon. Yeah, fellowships and connections. Like I don't have to spend my time with family and loved ones based around the narrative other people came up with. To me, it's just another meal. I'm gonna hang out with my friends. We're not gonna talk about the first Thanksgiving. We're not gonna talk about Jesus in the manger and all this other craziness they came up with. We just gonna sit here and hang out. You know. RIP to Takeoff. Yes, that hurt. That's something that really hurt. Yeah, I like the Christmas lights. I like the fact that people are a little friendlier around Christmas. A snowy Christmas is always fun. Just I don't know. The world seems to feel a little better around Christmas. So I like that. I like the holiday spirit. But all this other stuff, the Santa Claus and all this other craziness. I don't trust me. I could go on for hours about none of that stuff makes sense, but I respect people's right to believe in all that. I just don't get lying to your kids about Santa Claus. That's okay. That's okay. If you want to start your kid's life off with a lie, do it for years. That's okay. That's your right as a parent. Claire, I believe that Jesus existed. Yes. Just like there was lots of holy men and women throughout history. So yeah, I believe Jesus existed. Do I feel that man, as we're apt to do, has taken the story of Jesus and switched it up a bit? Yeah. Do I believe they were in the manger? No. No. In the middle of the wintertime. And before you're like, oh, it's not wintertime over there this time of year. Yes, it is. So no. Do I believe those stories? No. But do I believe Jesus existed? Yes. Good place to travel inside the US. I've only been to a few, but I'm a big fan of Mexico. Like, especially your first time outside the US, I'm a big fan of Mexico, man. It's cheap, depending on where you go, it's close. You can get a cheap flight down there. Yeah, I'm a big fan of Mexico. I am more a mountains person than a beach person, but I do enjoy the beach. Like when I was Myrtle Beach for a month last year, I went through some serious like growth. But I prefer the mountains. I'm a mountain man. But yeah, I do like the beach too. Yeah, yeah, and they take a good time for people to get together, and they have to make it about consumerism and commercialism. Which, if there wasn't the consumerism and commercialism, they wouldn't promote it. You'll notice throughout history, all the holidays that have made it through history, there was something else behind it. They don't have a hey, everybody just get together day. They don't. There's always something behind it. A lot of times it was religious stuff or monarch stuff. Like there's always something behind the holiday. They's not gonna give people time off work and pay them extra if they're not getting something out of it. I promise you. Or they're trying to appease the people. We got to throw them a bone. There's always something behind it. There's never just a hey, we just gonna give everybody time and a half or the day off. Everybody just hang out. They don't make that day, especially all the holidays that came down through history. There was something behind them. Now, some of them were like initially when they started, the harvest festival, things of that nature. But the reason they stayed with us is because they hijacked them, made them something else. I promise you, give you 100 years, Martin Luther King Day will be something commercial. Why? Give it 100 years. Martin Luther King, people won't even remember Dr. King. I hope they'll be done hijacked it, made it commercial. Oh, on MLK Day, you have to like this, buy this, give that. They'll be hopefully 100 years from now, they will have gotten rid of Columbus Day. Don't get me started. Jerron, thank you, thank you, thank you. Super Chat Squad, thank you, thank you, thank you. That's love. Said good to see you back. Great content like always. Thank you. Fist bump. Thank you. I appreciate that love. It's good to be back. It's good to be back. This is what we do. This is what we do. But thank you, thank you. It's good to be back. Yeah, they already did it with Juneteenth. I'm telling you. I'm telling you. This is what they do. It doesn't serve. Holidays don't survive unless they're getting something out of it. I have not been to Maine or Vermont. That is definitely on the list for an upcoming summer. That part of the country. Yeah, I got a good friend. Shout out to my friend Chastity. That's the homie, man. That's sis. She's up in Maine. And just hearing her stories, man. And my friend Jessica's up there too. Shout out to Jessica Joy. That's the homie too. She's up there. So when people whose opinions I really value and their friendship I value go somewhere and like it, that makes me really want to go. So yeah. Have not experienced cabin forest life, Mr. Chill. Not yet. No, I'm not that brave yet. We ain't there yet. Beautiful. I love that name. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Super Chat Squad. Thank you. Says, hey, you were missed. That man, them underarms. Welcome back, abundance. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Hashtag abundance. I appreciate the love. And we got a super chat train. We got Nisi's one coming through as well. Thank you, thank you. I appreciate the love. It feels great to be missed. Like it really does. It feels great to be missed. I appreciate the love. Thank y'all. We back. We are back. We got some good content ideas. I just had to take a little breaky break. But I appreciate y'all sticking around, still being here. That's love. That's love. Thank y'all. Thank y'all. Super chat train. Toot toot. Toot toot. Maharatab. What up? What up? What up? East Africa in the building. Sorry to hear the things going on up there. That's it's you know what I mean? Like it's when you hear truly horrible stories like that. And I do pay attention when I am, in my little times when I look at the world news and things like that. Yeah, I know there's places on earth where it's hard, real hard times. And it's that, and I do, you know what I mean? Like there's organizations I donate to regularly that are helping in those areas or say they are. I think the world was the World Food Program. I think it's a verified fact they're helping. So try to help. But it's one of those things where like, and this sounds callous, but it's not. You do what you can, and then you have to, and obviously prayers and things of that nature, obviously nightly, regularly. But you just have to find a way to still, it's hard sometimes to like, how do I go through life dealing with my stuff when I know there's people starving to death? But like, you have to, you know what I mean? And that's something else that like do what you can. And once again, I don't mean this to sound callous, but you can't, if you're not in that situation, you can't focus on that totally. Do what you can. Yes, care. Always be sympathetic and empathetic, but you still have to live. You know what I mean? And I feel like that's one of the hardest things in life. It's definitely hard for the people going through it, but also when you're not going through it, when your heart goes out to people who are going through that, like it's tough to like. Some days, man, like that's why I can't engage fully all the time because it's like, man, like I don't know. It's even hard to explain. You know what I mean? But it's like, man, like I have to believe that this life is not all there is in the sense that, you know, the next existence for all of us will be totally different. You know what I mean? Like I don't know, man. It's even hard to say. Hey, Missy Moto, thank you, thank you, thank you. Super Chat Squad, thank you, thank you. Good to see you. That's love. Thank you. Missy Moto, thank you. Hey, appreciate that, Jay. Said couldn't get rid of us if you wanted to. That's good to know. I don't want to, but that's good to know. That's a good point. EB23. People just going to random people's houses accepting candy. Craziness. Yeah, hey, Praveen just got to work, about to clock in. I see you. Hey, and Maharatab, I understand. Just want to get it off your chest and put it out there. I'm all for that. Like sometimes you just gotta let people know, like this is happening. Because I think, like I said, sometimes I'll tap into some news stories and I'm like, really? Like this parts of the world where people mass starvation, and it's honestly starvation is like an unprecedented level. Like it's crazy. It is crazy. And I think too, and this like so all this stuff sounds horrible to say, but I'm not saying like it makes it easier for me to not worry about the stuff we might go through when some people are going through like the worst case scenario. And I can think about that. Like, bro, like even if it gets to that, other people are already enduring it and going through it. If we have to go through it, okay, it's just our turn. You know what I mean? Like it's just like, okay, that's life. It happens. If it comes to us, it comes to us. Like as it came to other people. And I'm not saying it's just, you know what I mean? Like it's the game. So I can't be all worked up if the price of chicken goes up 30 cents over here when some people ain't got meat. You know what I mean? Like, yeah. And I hope to get to see your grandmother soon. Lee. Oh, there's lots of things people saying we need to be worried about. Diesel shortages and wars and all kind of, there's always something. That's another thing too. I love looking back at history. There's always something. There has never been a time in history where people weren't getting worried and worked up about something. Now there are times where there's more to be worried about because sometimes there is some stuff coming down the pipeline. But once again, there's a normal level of worry, and then there's abnormal levels of worry. I think we all just have normal levels. You're worried about your family, your loved ones. How's your life going to turn out? We all have that. But it's the abnormal level of worry when you're listening to all the doom and gloom. And I think it's worse these days because back in the day, all they had was like the news, the newspaper. Now we have a million content creators trying to make ad revenue money, scaring you to death, which annoys me. Got people posting every single day about negative stuff and like getting hundreds of thousands of views every day. And all they do is just pick something new negative. Like if you want to make money, if you want to start a YouTube channel, make money, and you don't care about people, just talk about negative stuff. Your views will go through the roof. That's the game plan. And so I think it's worse these days because all our social media is like negative, 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 negative. You wonder why people get lost on TikTok. At least if, you're looking at funny stuff on there, it takes you away from there's negative stuff on there too, but at least if you sit and look at thotties on TikTok for 2 hours. I took TikTok off my phone, folks. I took it off my phone. At least it gets you away from the doom and gloom. Literally, everything's expensive. You get pissed off. And I understand that. Let me just say I get it. But I feel like the being pissed off is not going to help you. Especially like if you know everything's expensive. If you're like, okay, I've identified things are going to get expensive right now. Like, who are you mad at? You know what I mean? Like, that's the thing. Like, sometimes we'll get angry, but at who? Prices aren't real. Like, you can't get mad at prices. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, yeah, I get it. But like, if you could just get to a point where you're like, all right, things are going to be expensive for a while, then they'll come back down. And just accept it, just like, and you can even not like it. But getting pissed off about it is yeah, you're just spiraling out of control. Like your health will start to suffer over prices. They're not real. So, all right, I won't be able to buy as much stuff as I used to. But the day's gonna come when prices go down. I'm gonna be back in them shops. You know what I mean? But like, it's just us getting worked up and getting mad and angry. That's the problem. Because like it doesn't like if you get angry enough, it doesn't make prices come down. You know what I mean? So it's like it just doesn't. That's what I'm saying. That's my plan is to not focus on this stuff. Just live my life. You know what I mean? Keep the goals and plans I had in mind. Stay doing what I love, what people I love. Focus on that. Like, and then when the good times roll back around, we lit again. We up. Will there be one? Your depression decreased after you stop watching so much news, a lot of social media. I'm telling you. The news is crazy. The news is, I made a video about that years ago. People still watch it and they're like, you're right. Like, that's one thing some of the stuff I say, I don't know. It just seems like it makes sense. I put it out there. I throw it against the wall. Some of it sticks. A lot of it doesn't. But the news stuff, I know. Like, to tell you, you think of the angriest, like most worked up people I promise you, they watch a lot of news. Think of the most peaceful, like zen, calm people they don't be on the news. They don't watch the news. It's crazy. The news or a lot of content like that. We get bombarded with more negativity than any other time in history. And our brains aren't set up for that. Once again, we have like our caveman brain to where, back then, anything you took in was a real threat. You know what I mean? If you think about it, anything you took in was a real threat because there was no radio, like anything that you took in was something you directly saw or heard. Unless another group of Neanderthals wandered over that like you directly saw or heard, or someone you talked with saw or heard, and it was a real threat. So like our brains are set up to like when we take something in to feel threatened by it. Now we take in stuff from the other side of the world and we still get that threat level. Oh, there's massive flooding in Germany. The weather, climate. Oh, like bro, ain't got nothing to do with you. Calm down. It's okay. You know what I mean? But our brains are just wired that way. So you have to like push that stuff out. Tap in a little, see what's going on, pull back, or don't tap in at all. If something happens that you need to know about, trust me, you will know about it. I agree, Donald. It's by design. The news is negative by design. If you have positive, happy news, people's vibration wouldn't be people would not take society as it's set up now if they were all positive, high vibrational people. High vibrational people. We would not take the world the way it is. But if they keep you divided, if they keep your vibrations low, they have you thinking, oh, this is the way it has to be. There's no other way. I got to take this. It's all by design. It's all by design. Just like booms, busts, and crashes are part of the economic cycle, that's by design because they know that's part of our economic cycle and they keep making the economy the same way. I'm telling you, it's all about none of this. Happy, high vibrational people don't take stuff. They think on a different level. They're like, I don't have to do this. I'm not taking this. I'm going to go do my own thing. Can't have that. So you got to keep people scared and worried, glued to the television, glued to the phone. Telling you, once you see, I've been spending a lot of time observing. A lot of what I've been doing in this break was observing. I just been watching stuff. There's a scripture in the Bible, in the world, but not of the world. I really feel that way a lot. Like I'm here, I'm experiencing what it's like to be a human, but I'm not like in it. Like I'm observing it. I'm not of it. You know what I mean? I'm here, but I'm not part of it. Like I'm just observing. I'm just an observer. Oh, this is what human life is. Okay, cool. This is what happens sometimes. All right. And since I'm in a human body right now, I feel pain, suffering, all this other stuff. But being in a human body also allows me to feel love and joy and all those things. So it's a trade-off. But like I just be observing stuff. Like I don't be all in it like other people. Like I just, I think, and this is just my understanding. I've talked about this in videos before, but I think when you get to that, this is when you get to the level of like believing that like this life is all there is, no matter whether you believe you're going to heaven or reincarnate, whatever it is, then you don't get as wrapped up in all this stuff because you're just like, oh, this is just a phase. Like, it's just a phase. It's just something I'm going through. It's an experience. I'm learning. I'm growing, hopefully. This isn't the be all end all. The economy in the United States in 2022 going into 2023 is not the be all and end all in my existence. It just means, food, food is important. The things that are important. Food, clothing, shelter, love, those are important. There are times in history where it's harder to get those things. They cost more. Sometimes it might be unavailable. All you is tell you when you get to thinking about survival, all this other stuff ain't as important. I tell you, all this other stuff is not important. People out here worried about inflation, paying $800 a month on a car note. You know what I mean? Our fears don't map to our behaviors. People right now buying new cars, $1,000 a month, but then they'll worry because cheese went up 10 cents. Sell the car, let the car go back then. That's $1,000 extra you got a month. Like stuff like we just don't. Our behaviors don't map to like our behaviors don't map to like what we're doing. You know what I mean? To our actions. Wait, that's the same thing. Our behaviors don't map to our thoughts or our fears. If you're scared, let the car go back. You know what I mean? When it gets down to you've exhausted every resource and you can't eat, okay, now we got a problem. But we be worried about like food going up. Yeah, I get it. But like sometimes, and some people are at that point, you know, and I get it. It's worse if you got kids, things that, hey, of course, I get that. But like sometimes we'll worry ourselves in a situation when we still have options. It's like if we can still afford food, yeah, it may cost us more than it did, but like we're still eating. The churn may have to go without, sweet potato pie this week. May not be able to get Popeyes on Thursdays, But it's like we're still eating. Like I try to focus on like survival. When I have the money, yeah, we're gonna splurge. But like, yeah, if things get tough, as long as we're still eating, we're as long as we still got a roof over our head, we're okay. A lot of people ain't got that. Oh yeah, the people in government definitely feed off our negative vibrations. Once again, it keeps us down. Then we're sheep. We can be controlled. High vibrational people cannot be controlled. Definitely not as easily. Low vibrational people can. It's all very simple. Nothing is complicated in this life. Some of it's hard, but nothing's complicated. Once you see it, like once you see you could explain it to a 12-year-old. Hey, who is it easier to tell what to do? Super happy, excited people who want to go out and play and have fun, or someone who's down and crying and depressed? Not down and crying. You know what I mean? Like it's very simple. Very simple. Donald, you're moving to Thailand for good as soon as you sell your house. Nice, nice. Do it, do it. I keep saying, especially if the economy goes the way they're saying it's going, there is going to be an explosion of people moving out the country. Talking America, when they realize that, especially if they got a little nest egg, or they can work remote, or they got something going on that brings them that they don't have to work in the United States, they're gonna be like, why am I here with this high ass cost of living when I can go somewhere else in the world and get the same stuff for cheaper? I may just have to learn a new language, ooh, or not. They speak English in Thailand. It's gonna be a no brainer. People gonna be leaving. Like, why? 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 Hey, EB23, thank you, thank you, thank you. Super Chat Squad. Thank you so much. That's love. Set a tip toward gas, lunch, or dinner. Glad to see you back. I thought you were too busy with work. Taking a long break from YouTube after 2 weeks. No, 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 no. We weren't a Super Chat Squad. Thank you. I appreciate that. That's love. Thank you. I definitely wasn't too busy working. I just really break. Like, yeah, just need to take a break. Have some time, not worried about making content. Um, yeah, just kind of need a break. So yeah, appreciate that. Love. So have I thought that humans live on the shoulders of titans? Everything has already been laid out for us. Life is way too easy nowadays. I do feel like some like we're too comfortable, so in some aspects. I do feel like y'all know me. I would much rather be living back in the tribal days than now. That's just me. I do feel like if I was living in that time period, I would be a lot closer to like what life's supposed to be. I think it's a much harder fight for us to get to the core of life now because we are so comfortable. Um, I think the closer you are to nature, once again, just my opinion, the more in tune you are with nature, survival is it can, most of us don't run into like life threatening situations that often. Our ancestors did. And while that may mean we live longer, that doesn't mean we live better. So like yeah, definitely think, but that's our struggle. I have to look at it this way. Um, the reason you're born at this time period is because we have to go through that struggle. Humanity at this phase of our struggle isn't running from woolly mammoths every day. It's how do you, in a society that has gotten so far away from its roots, get back to them. You know what I mean? Every society has a struggle, every time period. So yeah, I definitely think we're a little too comfortable these days, some of us, but that becomes a struggle then. How do you, despite all this crazy amount of comfort, learn the things you need to learn in life? MOs. I've been out the country. I've been to Thailand, the Philippines, and Mexico, but we're hoping to expand on that in the future. Thoughts on Slim Jims? The food. I mean, they're tasty. They're yummies. They're yummies. You know. They're expensive, so I used to eat them all the time. But yeah, I ain't had a Slim Jim in probably 2, 3 years. It's too too expensive. Like $2 and you eat it in 2 seconds. That's what I mean. Jade, I kind of don't crave the comfort. You know what I mean? Like I don't like I like being comfortable in this society. I wish we could all be comfortable, but like if we all had the level of discomfort our ancestors had, like I'm fine with that. I'm fine with having to build my own house. I'm fine with having to build a fire. I'm fine with having to hunt or you mean like that's I just think like I've always it just feels to me that this level of comfort is too easy. Even though I don't want to be and the reason like it's different now is because in this society, if we lose the minimum level of comfort to live, like you can't just go out and like the reason there's so many homeless people is because like we don't live in a society where you can go out and build a shelter in the woods now. You can't do that. So it's like that's why the people in this society, when they get uncomfortable, certain comfort level is horrible because there's no alternatives. But our ancestors, anybody could go out and catch the food they needed to catch, could build themselves, so being uncomfortable wasn't as bad back then because you had access to the materials you needed to get comfortable or to a certain level of comfort. Nowadays, it's just like, man, if you don't have a certain amount of money so you can get certain things, you're just done. Like it's crazy, you know. But it's the society we've created. Yeah, it's easy to sit here and as humans, but I'm a human too. You know what I mean? Niece says, I've been cooking at home. It's some days it goes good, some days it doesn't. You know, some days I cook at home, other days I'll DoorDash. Yeah, I've been cooking my own chicken thighs because I love chicken thighs, and I'm just not comfortable with cooking my own chicken thighs. I do it, but I'm always a little nervous they're not cooked well. That's one thing I haven't mastered. Like steak, I got down. I'll chef a steak up, in the little cooker I got. But whenever I do chicken thighs, I'm always a little nervous. Like I still don't think I got it right. I end up putting them in the microwave. I always put them in the microwave for a couple minutes just to make sure they're fully cooked because the microwave cooks from the inside out. So, like in case the inside isn't cooked, I'll microwave a little bit. So, the other day I went and bought some chicken pre-cooked because I get nervous when I cook chicken thighs. But steak I got. I don't really eat Five Guys. No, if you're talking about the restaurant. Yeah, everything else. Yeah, if you just let it go, it goes. Over time, it goes back. I feel like humans would too. Like if we had to, if all our modern conveniences and technologies went away, we would go back to nature too. I keep saying, I think that's why we love like zombie movies and apocalyptic movies and television shows, is because we go back to it becomes about survival. And I think we kind of crave that. I think on some level we know all this extra stuff ain't real. And we kind of crave just going back to the simpler, like, all right, we got to find a place to stay and we got to find food to eat and we got to make sure the bad thing, whatever it is, zombies or whatever, pterodactyls, whatever, don't get us. We kind of crave that. All this other stuff we've heaped upon ourselves, we think it's normal consciously, but subconsciously, I know our subconscious is back there like, y'all, why are y'all doing all this? Why are y'all putting up with all this? You know how much easier it was when all we had to do was just go hunt every day? And I know people are always like, but back then we died at like 50, Tim. And I'll gladly take a simple life, 50 years of a simple life, as opposed to 90 years of this stuff. And, I love life. You know what I mean? I'm loving experiencing. This time period, we know the best stories in my next existence. If I remember any of this, I'm like, oh, you lived on Earth in what, 1583? I was there in 2023. But I still love life, but like, man, I pine for simpler time. Bald Eagle, how's it going? Yeah, I just like the simple life. I'm tell you, I'm even my life now. I'm about to simplify more in the coming year. We about to get simple again. Hey, Gavin, what up, what up, what up? The man, the myth, the legend, the stream. Ooh, the moist underarm. Stop. Can't. By the way, where's my boy at? Sorry. Good to see you, Gavin. I haven't had my boy on here. So one of the things I do is I put him. I got a table that my TV's on. That like right when I walk in my room, I can see, and I put him right on the edge of the table. So the first thing I see when I get back to my room is my gratitude gorilla, and it always reminds me to be grateful. Shout out to gratitude gorilla, V friends. Okay. Hey, ladies first. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, Super Chat Squad. So, hey, Tim, great to see you. It's been a long week. Glad you're well. Hey, good to see you too. Good to see you too. I appreciate the love. Yeah, man, we here. Glad your long week's coming to a close. We are here. We're good, feeling blessed. Spending time with y'all, which I love to do. So, thank you, thank you, thank you. Give me 2 seconds, folks. I will be right back. We back. Hey, John, thank you, thank you. So, will you do another Saturday night live stream? Yeah, yeah, I can stream. Yeah, yeah, we'll do a Saturday stream. Yeah, Super Chat Squad. Thank you, John. Yeah, we'll do a Saturday stream. Yeah, why not? Let's do it. Let's do it. Let's do it. Let's do it. Yeah, I agree with you, Bald Eagle. Materialism it's a never-ending trap. Like you can never get enough. There's always somebody with more. You're never happy. You always want more. It's a never-ending trap. Gratitude Gorilla Cherokee. It's a V friend. It's Gary V's intellectual property. Some characters he created. So it's really just the gorilla that he's all about gratitude. There's actually some cartoons he's made about these for like kids. But yeah, just reminds me to be grateful. Grown man, 43 years old. 43 years old with a toy. I know. Yep. We turned 43 last month. I don't care. Cool Ash. I think times are there's difficulties now, but I could see us coming into some harder times. Yeah, you know, you could say times are hard anytime, but I think we might be coming into some harder times. Yeah, not to be dismayed though. Humanity will continue. Fortunes will be made and lost. People love will be had and lost. Same all things. I'm definitely not a doom and gloomer. If you feel like there's things you need to do so that you and your family get through these time periods, I think that's smart. John Knox mentioned stocking up on food, things of that nature. Go for it. I wouldn't worry about it though. Just don't get scared, get prepared. It's the pre-worry is what makes you stroke out. You ever notice that? You ever notice that? It's the pre-worry that usually does more damage. Because while you're in it, you just deal with it. You know what I mean? If the store shelves go empty, you're not worried about it. You're just dealing with it. You know what I mean? I mean, yeah, there's more. You know what I'm saying? But like, you're like, all right, how do I deal with this? It's the pre-worry that gets people. Oh, it's gonna be this, it's gonna be that, it's gonna blah, 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 blah. No, it's just like, you know what? I'm gonna make the moves I think I need to make, then I'm gonna let go. Might it be smart to stock up on some of them, $200 jugs of 30 days worth of food? Maybe. Why not? But like, you don't have to spend all your time worrying about it. Just keep it positive. Why not? Like, you know what I'm saying? If hard times are coming, why not be positive? Being negative won't stop them. You know what I mean? Be grateful for what we still got going on. You know what I mean? Like I said earlier, like it's November. I live in Colorado. It's going to get snowy soon. I'm not going to want to go outside. And I'm not going to sit around now though worrying about that and like, oh, it's possible. No, I'm going to be outside until the bad weather comes. When it's good weather, I'm outside enjoying the good weather. If really hard, crazy times are coming, why are we sitting around worried about them now? Enjoy these relatively good times until the bad ones come. That's what I say. Yeah, Gavin. Hey, shout out to Bob Wells, by the way. Cheap RV living. We do work to support our houses. Dude, like that's one thing I think about, like, and that's why it's killing me paying rent on this apartment. We're not doing that next year. Um, most of our biggest expenses were never in. Most people's house or their apartment and their cars are their biggest expensive, and their expenses and their houses sit empty all day, and their cars sit in the parking lot at work all day. Our biggest expenses we might spend a third of our day in, maybe a little more than a third, half of half of our day. You know what I mean? Like that's it's just crazy. Like, and when we're in them, we can't enjoy it because we're it's crazy. It's crazy, man. It's crazy. What kind of person do I think I was in a past life? I'm sure, like everybody, I run the gambit, but I do feel like I don't feel like I was always the best person. You know what I mean? There's some things in me that sometimes I'm like, I feel like in a past life I was pretty yeah. So yeah, I don't think I was always the best person. I don't think I always behaved like I behave now as Timothy Ward. But I might have been doing the best I could with what I was given in that life. But I do believe that, yeah, I was different in other lives. I mean, but I feel like that's part of the experience. I'm reading your comment here, rice and beans. I mean, yeah, I feel like we've set up a society that's weird. But even in the society we have, if you can find a job you love that you enjoy doing, go for it, man. It's all about happiness to me. You know what I mean? Um, I just want everybody, if you're going to spend 40, 50, 60 hours there a week, enjoy it. That's what I'm saying. Enjoy it. Get your worth. That's all I'm saying. You know what I mean? So I'm like, if you're somewhere and you don't enjoy it, get out of there as soon as possible. If you enjoy it, stay. If that's what you want to do. If you want to leave and be entrepreneurial, do gig, whatever, do that. Whatever makes you happy. That's what I'm saying. Whatever makes you happy. I just know work is one of the biggest not happy spaces on people's checklist. If you put out a questionnaire and said, what makes you unhappy? Work would be number one, spouse would be number two. Actually, kids would probably, no one would put down kids, but yeah, it'd be work and spouse. Bills would be on there too. We'll change it. You know what I mean? It may take time, but change it. I just want to change the narrative that, like, especially in this is the best time ever to change jobs. This is the best time ever, I think. But you look at the historians and everybody, they're like, we ain't never seen the job market like this the way it is. You know what I mean? Like, when was the last time you heard them be like, man, we need to get more people in these jobs? Most of my life, it was there's just not enough jobs for people. Now they're like, nobody wants to work. I have never heard that in my life before. I'm 43 now, still a relatively young man, still good, still got my looks, still look good. I have never heard them be like, nobody wants to work. Why we got all these jobs? Maybe this isn't true everywhere, but I know in Denver it's like that. Lots of other places. And there's never been a better time to like get the job you want or shop around for it. The days in the Colorado winter are pretty short. Like now, the sun is coming up at it's like 12 hours. The sun comes up at like 6 ish, and it goes down at like 5:30 ish. You know, 6 to 6 pretty much is the day now, which I don't like. Do you have anything else planned for the day, ladies? First, where's my to do list? Blah, 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 blah. Not really. Nothing. I might go to the park. Here's a story. So I was sitting at the park by my house the other day, right? And it'd been a minute since I just been there. I was sitting in the car. I think I called her. I was messaged a friend of mine to see did she want to talk on the phone. So we're just kind of sitting there, and she said she was busy. She's like, oh, you know, we can talk later or whatever. We set up a time to talk later. So I was just kind of sitting in the car, you know, was contemplating, like, man, do I want to do a video? I think I actually had my phone set up on like the windshield thing, and I was just, you know, sometimes I'll just spitball a video. Like I'll just turn the camera on, talk, see if anything comes out. So I'm just kind of playing around, cracking myself up, you know, on these random video takes. So there's a van that's like always in the park. So I know somebody's living in the van. No big deal. That's cool. Um, and so I'm just so like there's a car. I'm on one side of the parking lot, and on the other side there's another car, and like two spots across down from him is the van. The dude in the van gets out his car. He's got a baseball bat in his hand, and he starts swinging it. He's not close to the car next to him, but like he's swinging it in that guy's direction. And then he looks over at me, and he's like, with the baseball bat. Like I'm way across the parking lot, so he ain't gonna get to me. But I'm just like, what is this dude's problem? And then he just starts saying all this like anti-gay stuff. You know what I mean? Like I'm not even gonna say none of the stuff he said. Very disrespectful, very whatever. And I'm just like, who? And the guy in the car looking at him like, bro, what's your problem? And I'm like, what's this dude? He's like, you this, you that, you blankety blank, you blankety blank. And then he's just like swinging the back, but he never like moves more than like a foot away from his van. And he's like brushing his teeth, and he like put the toothbrush down. He get the bat, and finally, I was like, man, I had enough of this. I'm not. I recorded him for a little bit, and then I'm like, man, I'm done with this. Like, I was like, I don't even. Part of me wants to mess with the man and like drive closer, um, but I'm like, I'm not even. And he was like pissing me off. You know what I mean? Like, I'm like, shut up, bro. Like, shut up. Who are you talking to? Who are you talking to? It was just crazy. I'm like, man, you can't go nowhere. You can't, man. Last time I was sitting at the Target, some dude came up to my car. I'm like, man, it's getting all the more reason to move deeper in the mountains or out the country. But yeah, it was crazy. This dude was nuts. Craziness. Where am I at? Okay. Hey, Wendy Shaver, we back. We back. Yeah. Appreciate the worry and concern, but yeah, we good. We good. Easton, how's it going? Things I do to enjoy my time after work. Y'all know me. My women's sports gets me through. So I watch rugby. Soccer's over now. The NWSL at least is over. But the Euro League Women's Cup or whatever just started. Or started a couple weeks ago. So I've been watching a lot of that. And NCAA basketball is back. So I this year I'm a huge Stanford fan. Once again, this is all women's basketball. I love UConn, but I'm more of a Stanford fan this year. Even though the whole twins aren't there anymore, I still, Haley Jones and Cameron Brink and Anna Jump, the squad we here. So that's really what I do. Like sometimes I go for a walk, which you can't do as much these days because it gets dark at like 5 o'clock. So you know, my women's sports really gets me through. And I've been listening to a lot of Alan Watts. I've been listening to a lot of Alan Watts. There's this new 24/7 Alan Watts channel on YouTube. And like really, when I don't have anything else to do, I just kind of turn that on and listen. Easton, you left management for a warehouse position or loving it? Yes, less stress. Nice, nice. Hey, you're welcome. Hey, be peaceful. Glad you finally got to retire. Hey, you put in your 30, you got to retire. That's nice. That's nice. Reef, yes, I love my parents and family very much. Even my family members that we don't really communicate, haven't really communicated much the past 20 years. I love them to death. Like yeah, yeah, I love my family. Yeah, my parents, my p- like my parents. I feel so blessed to have the parents I had. I know a lot of the good things I appreciate about myself, or other people might, compliment me on, is because of the way I was raised. I know me. If I had been raised differently, I would be a totally different person. It would be prison like I'd have been in them streets. You know what I mean? So I know the way I was parented is the reason I am who I am, which helps me to not judge people because a lot of them didn't have both parents, or their parents were into some other stuff. You know what I mean? Like a lot of people are the person they are because of parentage. And if they had had my parents or someone else's parents, they might have been a totally different person. Like I would have been a totally different person. So like that, yeah, I love my just go, me and my dad, very close relationship. COVID brought us closer together. We talk on the phone very regular now. We didn't used to do that a lot. I may not talk with my mom and my sisters like that, but I love them. My sisters played a big part in my upbringing. Even if some of that was them showing me what not to do. But that's the way So yeah, yeah, I love my family. Totally, totally. Butch, what's up? 7 months sober on the 16th. That's awesome. That's awesome. That's amazing, Butch. That's amazing. That is amazing. Let's clap that up. That's amazing. What is that? Oh, the heater. It's like one of those floor heaters. The heater's on, and so it's like making noise. I'm like, what is that creaking noise? I keep thinking it's something in the wall. It's the heater. Y'all know these old school heaters. Y'all ain't got them old school floor heaters. Yeah, that's amazing, Butch. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm a huge Stanford fan. Yeah, I'm a huge Lexi Hall fan. I'm gonna put y'all on to something. Hold on. I got to. I got to. I got to. I can't. I can't. This has nothing to do with what we're talking about, but I can't. It has nothing to do with what we're talking about. But I'm if you want to know what brings me joy. Sure, I didn't hold on. Wrong one. If you want to know what brings me joy. Where'd it go? Oh, here. If you want to know do what you love, what people you love. Or find something to do that you love that you can do by yourself. Whatever that looks like for you. Here we go. All right. Let's see. Where are we at? I don't need those. Bear with me, folks. This is bruh. Come on. Huh? This makes me very happy. Lexi Hole rookie autograph. Oh, that makes me very happy. That's come on now. I've literally had to like stop myself from y'all know me, like I don't just a regular Lexi Hole rookie. Still. I I I don't like spend a lot of money on stuff, but like I really have had to stop myself from spending gobs of money on WNBA basketball cards. This one I don't really care about Maya Moore, but I think this is the best card I got out of those recent boxes I bought. Um Destiny and Destiny Anderson rookie. Woo! Ah, man, I'm telling you. Oh, Emily Hanks. Oh, stop. Okay, okay, I'll stop. I'll stop. I'll stop. I just had to show you them Lex Hills. I yeah, I genuinely had to like stop myself from spending all my disposable income on WNBA cards, which is kind of cool because it'd been a while since I had something that I was like, I wanted to buy and couldn't. You know what I mean? Like I said, I don't spend a lot of money on stuff. Like y'all know me, I'm always like, what would I spend money on? So it's been a while since I had something that like I would literally break the bank on. If I was that type of person, I would totally spend all my money on WNBA cards. Like I really would. So it feels good to have something to like aspire to money wise. Like, oh, if I do this, do that, then I can buy some more. Now, when all the people, when the, I'm gonna get me a. I've already decided. Um, once all the cards start getting graded, I'm gonna get me a Gem Mint 10. Yeah, I'm gonna get me one of the really expensive Lexi Hall rookies. Like I already know. I'm gonna get one. I'm gonna get one. One of the really, yeah, um, yeah. Okay. I feel like I fanboyed out long enough. What were we? It makes me happy, folks. You gotta do things that make you happy. You know, that's why I say minimalism is living with what you need and maybe a little more. I don't need any Lexi Hole rookie cards, but I like them, and that adds a little spice to life. Find something like that. You know what I mean? It doesn't always have to be something you buy. It could be something you create. But you know, you got to live with what you need and just a little more. You know what I mean? For funsies, you got to have fun. I have not had any cards graded, but I have some graded cards. I have some graded cards. I haven't had any like it's a whole process getting them graded. I do want to do that this year, or I wanted to. I don't have the money to now. Honestly, I don't have the money to now, but I do one day want to experience the grading process. What's up, Angela? But I'll probably this go around. I'll wait to because I don't have the money to send some cards to get graded, and they don't come back with good grades or high enough grades. So this time around, I'll probably just wait until some people get them graded, and then I'll buy the tens that I want. Yeah. What up, Sabrina? Somebody else said something. Tabozo, oh, yeah, what's up? Noah, hey. I don't watch bushcraft. You know, I think it would be smart to do, but I don't. Yeah, Jay, that's what I tell myself. It's an investment. The cars are an investment. Some of them are. I got some Sabrina Ionescu's over there that I'm hoping 15 years from now pay off 200x what I pay. Well, not 200. Yeah, well, who knows? 20x what I paid for them. Yeah, Angela, I'm good. I'm good. And I saw your message. Thank you. Yeah, I'm good. I'm good. I was just taking some time off. Oh, I'll show you what grading is. Diversity. Hold on. I'll show you. I could show these on the internet because none of them are really worth all that much. But yeah, I'll show you a graded card. Where we at? Yeah. Okay. So like this is you send it off to PSA and they like experts look the card over and give it a grade. Like you see this one says, hold on, now where's the camera? Focus. It says Gem Mint 10. Hard to see, but this is a 10. Like this is the highest grade you can get. So this is to keep fraud down. So a third party agency takes the PSA takes this card, they grade it, they give it a grade, and then like it's verified at this grade. So when I go to sell this card, there's no back and forth. You know, I don't have to worry about if I put it on eBay when the seller gets it. They're like, if you sell it raw, people are like, oh, this wasn't really what this is verified. A third party verified. This is the Sabrina Ionescu Gem Mint 10 rookie card. So that's grading. Yeah. So, and I think she has the potential to be the GOAT in the WBA. So, yeah, this was actually an investment card. Sorry, the light, you can't really see the card good. Trinity Rodman, Dennis Rodman's daughter. Y'all don't even know. Y'all don't even know. Y'all don't even know Dennis Rodman's daughter is a great soccer player. One of the highest paid soccer players out there. People don't even know. Y'all don't even know. Trinity Rodman. Okay, I'm done. I'm done. I'm done talking about cards. Done talking about cards. People like, all right, dude, talk about positivity. Uh, Fresh Star Sam, we here. J Baby 07, hey, how you doing? Yeah, we definitely gonna go PSA. SGC, I'll pick one up if I find a good deal on eBay. But yeah, PSA is yeah definitely the standard. Just like in comic books, CGC is the standard. Yeah. No, life's treating me good. Life's treating me good. Can't complain. And Sam, we gonna. I've read that question, Sam, but we're about the JLB. We're gonna skip that one. But I read it. Yeah, you have to leave it packaged. Diversity love. Yeah, that's what's like comic books. You can get graded too, and that's the downside of it is because then you can never read the comic book because it's slabbed and like if you open the slab, it voids the grading. So yeah, yeah. Comic book grading is you have purists who don't like it. Um, but yeah, I love yeah, graded comic books. Sly Stallone got a new show coming out. Okay. Crypto Johnny, we talked about the plan for the hard times. You probably have to go back and watch from the beginning. You know, it's hard to keep going back over what we already went over. Ladies first said, I feel about my WNBA cards like you feel about nice cookware and appliances. Facts. Hey, hey, hey. Like yeah, it's cool to have something like that. You know what I mean? It's cool to have something you like. Monica, good to know you was worried. Feels good to be missed. We're here. We're here. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Sis Trunk TV. We know all about yeah the PSA and the grading and going online. I literally spend hours researching trade. Like I that's one thing I will do for. I've stopped myself doing it recently because I'm not buying any right now. Um, but yeah, I will literally sit hours between eBay and other side. Like we do our research. V Friends cards I was huge into for a while. Picked up a couple of them that hopefully pan out. But yeah, man, we spend hours. Like I'll spend hours and not even buy nothing. Like I just spend, you know, checking prices. Oh man, I'll be into it, man. I'm telling you. Tobozu, when it comes to old coins, like the old, like the collectible coins is to get any of the really good ones, you have to pay. Like it's a very expensive hobby. And coins is weird. You know what I mean? I don't know if I'd ever do coins because I just don't know enough about coins is different. Coins is a lot more for the snooty rich people, or just for like I think there's a different money level if you really want to get into coins, and have it be, um, like like you really be into it. If you just want to collect coins, cool. But like if you really want to be in it, I think it's a little more pricey. Then like because I mean that you can get coins from way back the Roman Empire. You know what I mean? It gets really pricey. Yeah, coins is just too messy for me. Um, just too messy for me. Angela, yeah, you could. I can't guarantee I'll be available for a call later, but you can try. I can't. I won't. I won't even hold you and be like, yes. Yeah. I don't know. I might be busy, but you can try. Tracy Trot, how's it going? How's it going? Hey, Elise, thank you. Thank you. You're looking good. Thank you. I do not have any Kareem cards. I only have two like male sports cards. All my other cards are like WNBA, like I'm or NWSL. That's my next one. Um, I had to stop myself from buying 20 Morgan Weaver rookies. I probably will eventually. But yeah, yeah, I don't really do men's sports. Kyle can't stop buying Tesla. Hey, go for it. No, I don't think I've ever dealt with myopia. My myopia. I don't even know if I know what that is. No. Yeah, I didn't go to college. Some things I don't know. Some words I don't know. Some words I don't know. Yeah, keep the shirt. Stay abundant. Okay, what we doing? All right. What do we want to talk about? I feel like I got fanboyed out for a minute. To Mozu, I have been to Fort Collins. I actually enjoy Fort Collins. I like Fort Collins. Fort Collins, Loveland, that's a nice area. That's a nice area. I could see myself living like in Loveland one day. It's a nice area. I think it's better than Denver, you know. But I like smaller areas. But yeah, I like Fort Collins. Oh, myopia is nearsightedness. See, I thought it had something to do with like your gallbladder or something. It's eyesight. Yeah, I don't know. Angela, it snowed 2 weeks ago, like one day, and then it melted, and then like last week it snowed one day and melted. So not we still had 100 car pile up. We still had 100 car pile up one day. But I was like 100 cars. After about like 10 cars, you think people would notice. I'm like 100 cars, and it wasn't even that bad. Like I drove to work that day. You know what I mean? I'm not gonna drive if it was bad. So like it wasn't even that bad a day. But I think somebody said like it was ice patches or something. But like I'm like I don't the bridges were icy or something. But I'm like 100 cars. That means that literally 20 cars hit and then another 80 hit. You think after like 12 cars, people were like, wait a second, something's going on up there. Like, I mean, after just like 100, like it was crazy. But yeah, it hasn't snowed that bad. Yeah, I heard Ricky that it's blizzarding up in North Dakota. Yeah, I saw that. And I was talking to my friend Wendy. Shout out to Wendy. She said it's pretty up in Montana. It's pretty yeah, it's coming through. I said not down here in Colorado. Any dental advice? Get it taken care of. Find a good dentist who you trust, and just get it taken care of. That's my dental advice. There was time when I was super scared of the dentist, and I didn't go a lot. But like that is one thing. A lot of my stimulus money, I found a good dentist in Montana, and I was just like, I was like, Doc, get it done. Because for years I just wouldn't do it. I found that when I just go ahead and get it done, it works out better. So yeah, I say just get it done. Ladies first. I could see going live later tonight. Maybe we'll see. I can see that though. Flipping Earth Betty checking in. How's it going? How's it going? Yeah, I can see that though. Flipping Earth Betty checking in. How's it going? How's it going? Yeah, John. I think that's. I need to find me a Mexican dentist. I could. I keep saying in future, and I know I keep saying it, but I'm not opposing all my health care taken care of below the border in future. CM, sorry I missed your comment. Said, hey Tim, same age. I'm introverted, climbing out of depression. Glad to see you're coming out of it. Ready to start a new life? Yes. Don't know where I want to live. Need a job. The seasonal work hard labor. Would I be the old person there? Great question. Seasonal work is hard labor if you do a hard labor job. And what I mean by that is there's a gambit of jobs. So one of the most of the seasonal places are kind of touristy places. They all have like retail shops. You can sit around and run the cash register all day, stock, little bric-a-bracs and knickknacks on the shelf. A lot of the older people, like say when I worked at the YMCA of the Rockies, which I recommend as a first seasonal job. A lot of the older people and some of the volunteers, a lot of them, that's what they did. They worked in the retail shop, little stuff like that, maybe in the kitchen, in food and beverage, running the register, swapping out food trays. So like there's hard labor jobs like housekeeping, and then there's, this front desk. They don't do nothing but stand there all day. I'm kind of poking fun at front desk because housekeeping and front desk always go at each other's throats. So they just stand there all day and get paid more than us usually. So there's hard labor jobs and there's not so hard. So that's why I always recommend like go on Cool Works. And obviously think about when you went on vacation, some of the jobs you saw, what would you like doing? And then you can go on Cool Works and just type in, cashier, front desk, office, sales. Like, I mean, they have all these non-physical. There's probably more non-physical jobs than physical when I think about it. So yeah, I say, hop on coolworks.com, check it out. Yeah, John, shoot me the info of your dentist, like for real, for real, for real. What part of Mexico is he in? Yeah, for real. M. Scott, hello, hello, hello. Broom by nature, yeah, we're doing good. We're doing good. Good to be back. Tranquility, 1984. Been sub for over a year now. Yes. Love your ideas on minimalism. You got me inspired to do it. I'm slowly starting out on it. I've been watching your live streams. Yes. Yeah, hey, go for it with the minimalism. Yeah, take your time. Take your time. Like there's no rush. You don't have to be a minimalist by 6 months. Just take your time. I mean, I think that is minimalism. Just getting rid of stuff you don't need. And then once you get to a level where you're like, I think I'm good, just maintaining that level. Very simple. Very simple. See, it depends. You said it's seasonal work enough to live off of. It depends on the bills you have. When I started out doing it, I had like what $90 worth of bills a month. My insurance at the time was $50, and my phone was like $50, 90 to 145 bucks. It's like $95 a month. So for me, yeah, and I worked at places that provided housing and meals, so like I didn't have to pay rent. I mean, they took like $10 a day out of my check, so that's nothing. So I didn't have to pay rent after I got my check. Food was included, so like all I had to pay out was $90. You know what I mean? So like my first check paid my bills, and the rest was just save money or blow money. And it depends. There's 1,000 seasonal companies. I'd say most of them you'll have a roommate, but there are some that don't. There's a lot of seasonal companies you don't have to share a room. There's also some where like the higher you go in the company, the less likely you are to share a room. There's some like the YMCA where during the winter season, a lot of times you get your own room because there's less staff. Summer you don't. It just kind of depends. There's no blanket all seasonal jobs are like this. Just like some seasonal jobs pay peanuts, others pay decent. So yeah. Chris Carl, hello. Oh, he's 10 minutes from your hometown in Donna by the Rio Grande. Okay, okay. Any advice on how to take one's life seriously, like a dignified human being, and not coast through it? No, no, because I don't believe in taking your life seriously. It's a game. Now you can play that game in a dignified manner, but I don't think life is serious. Like, what's serious about it? That's the way I look at it. It's not like what's serious about it. It's a game. It's an experience. Like I don't take my life serious. If you want to coast through your life, it's the same eventuality as if you don't. So yeah, I just don't see why we have to take it serious. Oh, Sam, you also asked, would you be the old person there? I forgot that. I started seasonal work at what 35 and never felt old. You know what I mean? Like I've worked with people in their 60s. You know what I mean? So yeah, the majority of the people are going to be in their 20s, but like you go there, and if you're not concerned about age, nobody else is going to be. Like no one's going to when you walk in, be like, oh my god, you're old. You know what I mean? Like you know what I mean? It's just you go in there with the open mind of, hey, I'm going to hang out with these kids, maybe learn something from them. Work, have fun. Like it's yeah, no one really cares. And your next question, how do I find the guts to go to another state all by myself when I don't know anyone? I just wanted to change. You know what I mean? Like that's and like it's not like anything bad's gonna happen because you don't know anybody. You know what I mean? Like I was a little nervous going to work for a company I didn't know, but like the making friends part was like the easiest part. Like it just kind of I made friends on the bus before I even started working. My first roommate, he looked at me, I looked at him. He's like, "Hey, we seem like we're both in our 30s. You want to be roommates?" I'm like, "Cool." You know, what I mean? You know what I mean? Like, and we're friends. And me and him kind of had some issues later, but like he introduced me to the people who became like my friends. You know what I mean? Some of the people I hung out with the most. He introduced me. He was like, "Hey, I met these dudes the other day." He's like, "They're in their 20s, but they're cool guys." And I will admit, at the time, I was like, "They're in the." I wasn't, this is my first seasonal job. I didn't know. I didn't have a Tim to tell me about it. So I'm like, "They're in their 20s, whatever." And then I met these dudes, and they shout out to my boy Adam, and Stamos, all them, Riley, Rye Rizzle. Shout out to Riley. They were some of the awesome guys and girls I met. You know what I mean? So the making friends part was like super easy because you work with these people, you live with these people, you're in close quarters with them. So like the people that are like you're gonna instantly be drawn to. Like there's gonna be people that like you just kind of know you rock with. So yeah, the friends part was pretty easy. And yeah, I'm a huge introvert too, and that's the thing too. Like even though I go to seasonal jobs and I make friends, I hang out with them. They also know that like when it's Tim's downtime, he ain't coming out. Oh, let's go skating. Let's go do. I'm like, nah, one night a week, maybe 2 nights a week. But like when I'm doing my own thing, I'm doing my videos, I'm decompressing. I just tell them like I'm not coming out. So it's yeah. But the making friends just kind of happens. I found that's what I'm like making friends is a problem in the real world. Like all my friends now I have now came from seasonal work. Like I have not, I haven't been at a seasonal job since what, January. I haven't made a single friend in Denver. All my friends came from seasonal work, or I have some friends here that I knew through like the internet. But like all my friends that I hang out with came from seasonal work. It's making friends in the real world is hard for me. Like I don't know how to do that. I feel like I'm way behind in the comments. Where are we at? Jay, checking in. Hey, I haven't really thought about doing Odyssey or Rumble, M. Scott. I mean, if I don't know, like I just feel like YouTube is such a huge platform. I feel like everybody eventually comes to YouTube. You know, that's the way I look at it. I could put like it seems like putting your message on other platforms is putting it further out there, but I'm like everybody eventually comes. And I'm not saying I'm against it, but I'm just saying to put in, you know what I mean? Like it just I feel like everybody comes to YouTube. Even the people on those platforms come to YouTube. So I don't know. If there's ever a platform that seems like it's really other than TikTok, that's really if there's ever a video platform I feel like is really rivaling YouTube, maybe. But I'm like, I feel like YouTube is big dog. Um, Cheryl said, if you had a kid, would you take life seriously? I don't think so. Like I think my views on life, yeah, like what would change? Like I still think it's a game. I still think it's an experience. Like this is part of the game. It's part of the experience of humanity for some people is having the child. Like and I think sometimes people think then when I say I don't take life seriously, like that's a bad thing. Like I'm just being nonchalant. Like no, like I respect life and I appreciate life, and I'm blessed to have this experience. But like it's not serious. Like, and I don't think having a kid would change it. Like I'd have more responsibility, but I wouldn't think my kid's life was serious. And I don't mean that I wouldn't take care of it and raise it to the best of my ability and keep it safe and all that. But at the end of the day, I know that child's eventuality. It's gonna be dead too. It's gonna move. You know what I mean? Like it's there's nothing to be serious about. If life lasts forever, maybe you be serious. Her, I'm immortal. Be serious. But like we all know how it ends. We all know how this plays out. We know the ending to the movie. It's death and scene. Cut. You know what I mean? So like if I have a kid, it's the same for that. Like, you know what I mean? Hey, and I would probably be one of the few parents who all through raising my child would keep that in front of them. Like, you know, you're gonna be dead soon, so live your life. Daddy's gonna do the best he can while you until you're 18 to take care of you and keep you safe. After that, you're on your own. Despite all that, one of these days, both of us gonna be up out of here. Hopefully, daddy before you. So do what you gotta do, get the most out of this experience, because you're gonna be up out of here. By that I mean this house one day and life. Why? You mean like I just don't see why did like we get so serious when I hang on to life? Gotta know, bro. It's a game. Enjoy yourself. Think about all the people you know who take life very serious. Are they the happiest people you know? That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. My opinion. Hey, see you later, Angela. And thank you again. A lot of talk about Tesla in the chat. Okay, okay. Yeah, if I had a kid, they people would not agree with my child rearing strategies. Like I'm telling you, I wouldn't. I would try to be a good parent, but I wouldn't be a serious parent. We'd play a lot. We'd laugh a lot. What am there definitely wouldn't be any. You need to do this. You need to do that. Even the stuff I just said. Hey, get out there. I'd be like, if you want to get out there, I think it's wise for you to get out there and live your life. But like, I don't know. If you want to be a wage slave, do that. I don't care. Just be whatever makes you happy. That's what makes you happy. You know, while you in this house, we got a couple rules. But like, do whatever makes you. I don't care. I don't care. Ooh, Hansy. Yeah. So come to Italy, have a beautiful girl for you. Okay, she fine. She fine. She cute. Is she fine? She fine. Kelly said God is already working out what you're worried about. That's one way to look at it. You know what I mean? If you believe in God, beautiful way to look at it. If you don't, the universe, something, it's all gonna do what it's gonna do. No matter who you believe or think is working out. It's gonna do what it's gonna do. Whether, God's behind it, universal laws behind it, just whatever is behind it, the Big Bangs, it's all gonna do what it's gonna do. Worrying don't change that. It's gonna do what it's gonna do. If worrying stopped bad things from happening, nothing bad would ever happen. Because we worry all the time, folks. It's gonna do what it's gonna do. I got other stuff I'm doing. I got Euro League women's basketball to watch. I can't worry. Sorry, my dance card is full, ladies and gentlemen. My dance card is full. All my a lot of the WNBA women are playing on these European teams. I got to figure out. I spent the last week trying to figure out what teams the players I prefer. I almost a favorite. I spent the last week trying to figure out what teams the players I prefer enjoy watching are on. Full-time job. I can't worry. I don't have time to worry. I don't have time to worry. I still haven't figured out if Sophie Cunningham is playing. I don't think she is. But you know what I mean? Like I got real stuff to do. I got real stuff to do. 2 seconds, ladies and gentlemen. I'll be right back. Let me put the mute. Sorry about that. Sorry about that. I had to take a little break. Oh, Fairbanks. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Super Chat Squad. Appreciate that love. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Chris, what up? What up? Good to see you too. Monty, was there more to your comment, or you just said Big Sky? Is that the end of a comment, or you said Big Sky? Big Sky in the build. Hey, Chris, Carla, thank you, thank you, thank you. Super Chat Squad, appreciate that love. Thank you so much. Number one fan, we in here. I said I was gonna stop doing the crazy dancing. Thank you, Chris. Thank you, Fairbanks. I appreciate the love. Thank y'all so much. Thank you. Super Chat Train. Choo choo. I still gotta get a conductor's hat off the Amazons. I'm gonna do that. Thank you. Thank you. Oh, we get deep. We get deep in the chat here. Okay. Osama up here getting deep. I see y'all with the deep conversation. I'm up here talking about whatever. Up here talking about EuroLeague basketball. They talking deep. Okay. Definitely not gonna talk no politics though. We're gonna skip over those. Hey, Tranquility. Glad you liked the Comfort Zone Chris live stream. Yeah, that was a fun one. That was fun. I a little nervous about doing it, but I wanted to do it, so I did it. Gave some people some laughs. Other people said I had killed my channel. Uh, another reason I took a break. You get tired of hearing people's opinions on everything you do, but comes with it. Comes with it. No, I have no clue how the legalization of however you pronounce that is going. I don't pay. I don't. You know me. I pay very little attention to very little. I pay very little attention to a lot. I don't pay much attention to much. To a little. Yeah, I don't know. It ain't got nothing to do with me. Like, shout out to the people who want it legalized. I don't know. I do think, Ricky, that hurt people hurt people. I don't think bullying is weird though, because I know a lot of people who got bullied who never bullied. Maybe they hurt people in other ways, but bullying is weird. I definitely believe some people are bullied, they become bullied, but I also think other people go the other direction. Because I know a lot of people who got bullied and picked on who didn't go down that road. You know, bullying is a weird one. I think it can be so damaging to some people's self-esteem they do whatever to even bully other people. You know, I got picked on a lot. In school, and like it just diminished my self-esteem. Like I wouldn't even felt comfortable picking on anybody. I thought I was so gross and lame and whatever. You know what I mean? So I think bullying does that sometimes. They took you to Islam. They took your phone when you went to rehab. Was a blessing in disguise. Couldn't get sucked into politics and negativity. You know what I mean? It's I don't ever demonize social media because it's us looking at it and posting on it. But yeah, being away from it. That's what, like I said, I learned that when I went to Yellowstone. And I don't even think I had a phone with internet back then, or it was basic internet. But 2015. But like being away from it all for so long, amazing. It just felt great. Like I was like, I don't have to worry. Like all this crap that all my friends back home were telling me about. I'm like, I don't even know what you're talking about. My biggest worry was what time we was gonna get off work so we could go to the employee pub. What were they serving for dinner? Who was that new, girl from Turkey? Who was hollering at her? Like those were my worries when I at my first seasonal job. Though everybody else was all this other stuff. I'm like, what are y'all talking about, bro? I gotta go hike. Actually, I didn't hike at Yellowstone, but like, you know what I mean? Those were my worries. Was there going to be a bison in front of the door we had to go in to clock in, and I was going to be late for work? Those were my worries, not all this other crap. Like, coming like that's why I always call it the real world when I leave seasonal work because it's like a different world depending on where you are and how far away it is from like humanity. Yellowstone's in the middle of nowhere, so you definitely feel like you're in a different world where you're there. So when I would go back home to like the real world, it's just like, oh, this is I was like, man, I'm ready to go back. Y'all got too much going on. You know what I mean? I'm just trying to, see what's up with the J1s. Dan Jam, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Super Cat Squad, thank you, Dan. We in here. We in here. Oh, yes, Noah. Let me tell you a story, Noah. This is one of my favorite stories. So, Yellowstone National Park. I worked at my first seasonal job. They put me in housekeeping. I worked at the Old Faithful Inn. Tell you, I was blessed from the beginning. Abundance. They put me at the Old Faithful Inn, which is literally you could look out the window and see Old Faithful erupt. I've seen and heard Old Faithful erupt so many times, which is amazing. It never gets old. Or it never gets old hearing people go, ooh, and then they all go buy ice cream. Old Faithful erupts, everybody goes buy ice cream. It's amazing, except for the people who work in the ice cream shop because they know it's coming. They sit there, nothing going on. Old Faithful erupts, everybody goes, ooh, and then 100 people come buy ice cream. Anyway, I didn't know anything about seasonal work. I went, and then one day they were like, "Oh, you're gonna want to like come outside, hang out." I'm like, "What?" They're like, "The Eastern European bus gets here today." I don't know what that means. I thought there was a bus coming that like was from Eastern Europe. I'm like, "What, a Volvo?" Like, I don't know. Like a Volvo? I don't know. A Volkswagen? But I don't know. What they meant was all the J1 students that were going to be working with us from like Eastern Europe were coming that day. So you go out and yeah, it was I forget all the names of all the country. I remember Turkey always because it's a weird name, but there was a bus full of, you know, Eastern Europeans. 90% of them was hot, guys and girls. We were just sitting there like I wasn't expecting this. I'm like, what? And the friendliest people you ever meet. Just the friendliest people, and some from like other parts of Europe too. But yeah, basically the J1 international students and workers bus pulled up because they all came together, and it was just like all of us, all the guys and the girls were all just standing around like, are you kidding? Like, are you like the people who knew, but like I didn't know. It was crazy. It was crazy. It was great. That was one of my best experiences from like seasonal work. Like, you know what I mean? And goes back to like in the beginning, I'm like, oh, I'm gonna be the old guy here. But like all these kids were like, 19, 20, 21. And like I got some of them, we still follow each other on Instagram, just great friends. You know what I mean? There was no seeing age, there was no seeing race. Like if nothing, they were like super cool to meet me because they don't know any black people or very few. You know what I mean? So it was awesome for them to like come to America and meet like Americans of like different colors. You know what I mean? Like it was just super cool to meet people around the world. That was the first time I ever met people from around the world like that. You know what I mean? Love that story. Yeah, that was fun times. Oh, we still talking? Still talking stocks? Okay. At least the politics is gone. What's Kroger water hitting the spot? Kroger water hitting the spot. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, I think I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up. Um, yes, Yellowstone is pretty country. Amazing. Blew my mind. Going on 3 hours, which I think is good. I might come back later this evening and do an evening stream for the people who couldn't make this one just to say what's up. Thank y'all so much for tuning in. I missed y'all so much. Really did. It means a lot that everyone was checking in on me. People said glad to see you back. Thank y'all so much. Big shout out to the Super Chat Squad. Appreciate that love of a financial nature. Thank y'all so much. Hope you have a wonderful day. I love each and every one of y'all. Stay abundant. Don't worry, we're gonna be okay. You know, hard times come, hard times go. Um, Stay up, stay happy, stay blessed, do what you love with who you love. Life's amazing, all that. Talk to you later.